Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pointer Media. It's Friday Night Football with my broadcast partner, Tim Malone. I'm Jay Baker. For the next 15 or 20 minutes, we're going to have the feed live so that you can experience band court and all the announcements and the special things that is what's happening tonight before the game with the hard-working band, multi-award-winning band, and we certainly don't want to take away from their experience. So that's what you'll be watching and listening to from now until about 10 minutes before the game, and we'll come back with a preview of tonight's Lake Hamilton-Van Buren football game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beautiful Citizens Bank Stadium at Blakemore Field for tonight's 6A West Conference matchup. This is the ninth meeting all time between the Lake Hamilton Wolves and your Van Buren Pointers. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Van Buren High School Band for our band court ceremony.
Good evening, Van Buren High School marching band fans, and welcome to the coronation of your 2025 Van Buren High School Annual. At this time, we are proud to present first couple representing the freshman class. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Cooper Wallace and Mr. Perry Driggers. Cooper Wallace is the daughter of Mike and Wallace. She's from the Van Buren Color Guard and attends Merch Church while she serves as a staff photographer. Cooper's plans are to become a cosmetologist and to continue growing in her faith with the Lord. Perry Driggers is the son of Richie and Brittany Taylor. He plays the French horn and the mellophone with the BBHS band and is a Merch Church. Perry's future plans includes pursuing a career in the health insurance field. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Cooper Wallace and Mr. Perry Driggers. At this time, we are proud to present our first couple representing the sophomore class. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Jackie Griffin and Mr. Andreas Stout. Jackie Griffin is the daughter of Shane and Catherine Griffin. Jackie has played flute for the past 5 years as a member of the Van Buren Band and has been a member of the BBHS Marching Band for the past 2 years. Jackie has earned membership in the All-Conference Band and is a member of BBHS Choir. In the future, Jackie aspires to become to beautify other people's smiles. Andres Stout is the son of Andres Stout and Linda Stout. Andres is a skilled French horn player and has earned an all-conference concert band and jazz band. Andres is involved in FCA, TSA, and attends Merch Church and Heritage Church. His future goals include attending Arkansas Tech University to become either a youth pastor or a medical professional. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Jackie Griffin and Mr. Andres Stout. Our next couple representing the sophomore class is Ms. Avril Reeves and Mr. Larry Pyle. Avril Reeves is the daughter of Dr. Bradley Reeves and Crystal Reeves. Avril is a field conductor for the VBHS Marching Band and has been named All-Conference First Chair Clarinetist for the last 2 years. Avril was selected as MVP at UCA's 2024 Music Camp and is a member of the BBHS Student Senate. After high school, she plans to attend UCA and become an SLP. Larry Pyle is the son of Kelly and Chad Pyle. Larry is a trumpet player with the BBHS band and has earned a position as a member of the All-Conference band. Larry is also a member of the Van Buren High School bowling team and participates in theater and dance. Larry enjoys playing Clash Royale and spending time with his friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Avril Reeves and Mr. Larry Pyle. Our first couple representing the junior class is Miss Allison Monterosa and Mr. Grayson Gervin. Allison Monterosa is the daughter of Alonzo and Nursey Monterosa. Allison plays trumpet with the BBHS marching band and has earned a position in the All-Conference band. She's a member of the UAFS Upward Bound program, Mu Alpha Theta, and attends Gethsemane Hispanic Baptist Church. Allison plans on attending Missouri State University to pursue an electrical engineering degree. In her free time, Allison enjoys being with her friends and siblings. Grayson Gervin is the son of John and April Gervin. Grayson plays in the front ensemble of the marching band and plays percussion in concert band. Grayson is also on the BBHS track and JROTC teams. He attends Ridgeline Church and plans on attending the University of Central Arkansas for music education and to become a band director. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Allison Monterosa and Mr. Grayson Gervin. Our next couple representing the junior class is Miss Kimberly Shelley and Mr. Grant Olds. Kimberly Shelley is the daughter of Kathy Shelley. She is a member of the BBHS Marching Band Color Guard and the Varsity Winter Guard. Beyond her dedication to the performing arts, Kimberly is actively involved in organizations such as the FFA and History Club. She plans to attend UAFS to pursue a degree in sonography. Grant Olds is the son of Gerald and Karen Olds. Grant plays the mellophone, the marching band, and the French horn and concert band. He has made the All-Conference band 3 times. Grant is also on the BBHS track team and is one of the top 16 high school decathletes in Arkansas. He attends the current church and plans to go to college to earn a degree in physical therapy. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Kimberly Shelley and Mr. Grant Olds. Our first couple representing the senior class is Miss Shane Chase and Mr. Hayden Fontaine. Shane Chase is the daughter of Amanda Chase. Shane marches mellophone and plays French horn for concert band and trumpet for the jazz band. She has made All-Conference every year in both band and choir and is qualified to audition for the All-State Choir this year. Shane plans on going into the computer science field. Hayden Fontaine is the son of Kevin and Christina Fontaine. Hayden is a snare drummer for the BBHS band. He has earned a position in the Arkansas All-State Band, is president of the National Honor Society, and is a Jesus Club member. Hayden attends the Bond Church and plans to continue playing percussion in college while pursuing a degree in cybersecurity and law. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Shane Chase and Mr. Hayden Fontaine. Our next couple representing the senior class is Ms. Melanie Mesquita and Mr. Manuel Matamoros. Melanie Mesquita is the daughter of Sandra and Juan Mesquita. Melanie is a member of the BBHS Color Guard and Winter Guard, where she spins both rifle and flag. She is a member of NHS, FCCLA, and History Club. During her free time, she enjoys being with friends and family. Melanie plans to attend the University of Arkansas and continuing to participate in Color Guard while majoring in marketing and supply chain management. Manuel Matamoros is the son of Basida Samaya and Hector Mendez. Manuel is a euphonium player with the BBHS band and has earned all-conference honors. He is a member of the BBHS Winter Guard and BBHS History Club. Manuel's future plans include attending Missouri State University and being a part of the Color Guard team. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Melanie Mesquita and Mr. Manuel Matamoros. Our final couple, representing the senior class, is Ms. Catalea Champala and Mr. Kobe Nance. Catalea Champala is the daughter of Divino and Leilai Champala. Kat plays trombone for the BBHS band and has earned a position in the All-Conference band. Kat is a leader in Mu Alpha Theta, is a member of the National Honor Society, and serves in the Student Senate. She attends Liberty Baptist Church and has been accepted into 10 colleges and universities. She plans on pursuing a PhD in mathematics. Kobe Nance is the son of Jeffrey and Tiffany Nance. Kobe is an all-state euphonium player, senior class secretary, and is a member of TSA, the History Club, and teenage Republicans. Kobe plans on pursuing a career in law or civil service. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Kabalea Chapala and Mr. Kobe Nance. Presenting the 2025 award for Mr. and Ms. Van Buren High School Band is Van Buren Band Director, Mr. Ron Smith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Van Buren High School Band is proud to present our 2025 Mr. and Ms. Van Buren High School Band, Ms. Melanie Mesquita and Mr. Manuel Matamoros. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause for your 2025 Van Buren High School Band royalty. The Van Buren High School Band would like to thank the Van Buren Band Boosters Organization, Ms. Gail Sly, Ms. Crystal Reeves, Mr. Chris Bryant, Dr. Harold Jeffcoat, Mr. Drew Cohn, Mr. Josh Smith, Ms. Lindsay Gann, and First Sergeant Gerald Phillips, as well as the Van Buren High School JROTC Sabre Squad for helping make this event possible.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pointer Media with Tim Malone. I'm Jay Baker on behalf of Josh Smith, Lindsey Cachell, Stephen Copeland, and Austin Myers. Thanks for choosing to tune in. Here in just a few minutes, we'll have the presentation of the colors, national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll get you ready for some football. Tonight is the third conference game of the year for these Pointers. As Tim and I told you last week, they had a chance to do something they haven't done since 1999, and they did that, and that is to start conference 2-0. Tim, it was a good week, a really good all-around win last week at Siloam Springs.
Well, to pitch a shutout, you can't ask for much more. We had it's been a great week. Coach said it's a great week to be able to build off of something like that. So when you're coming in, you're talking to your defense, you're talking to your offense. 38 points. The defense is feeling special. They got the goose egg. So a lot to build on, a lot of confidence. And as with any game, I don't care whether you're playing baseball or football or golf, what's going on in the headspace can make a big difference. And I think last week, I think I mentioned it last week, it was kind of chicken soup for the soul, if you will. I think it really helped this football team realize what they're capable of, and then now come out tonight and show it off a little bit more. Yeah.
And the challenge certainly gets a lot more difficult tonight. Not picking on Siloam Springs. They've had struggle on the offensive side of the ball this year. Lake Hamilton, on the other hand, comes in, and I'll tell you, to a degree, they remind me of when you and I were talking about getting ready for Greenbrier. Not to that level. They don't have a Hassan on this team like Greenbrier did, but the fear that we had going down there was that Greenbrier can beat you either way, over the top or on the ground. And it seems like watching what we've seen in Lake Hamilton, we may see that tonight.
We very well could, and I think that's presented the problem. If you look at it from our defensive standpoint, the problem has been presented from these quarterbacks who can both run and pass. This young Bohannon that came in as a sophomore. He beat out a senior, Davenport, for the starting job over the summer. So obviously he's special, and he's got the ability to both run the ball, and they will run the ball with him, design plays. But if he gets in trouble, he can take off, but he can also put the ball where he needs to, and he's got a good receiver to be able to get at you. They kind of have that Hayden Williford, Austin Riggs connection between number 5 and number 14.
Yeah, the offense has been a mixed bag for Lake Hamilton so far. They've had a couple really good games. Last week winning the shootout against Southside. But they've also had a couple real challenges. They were held to 20 points by Lakeside, who's obviously a good team. Van Buren, one of the things I noticed in looking at the season, Van Buren averages over 120 yards more per game than this Lake Hamilton team does. So offensively, we can hang with them. It's just, can we stop them on the defensive side of the ball?
And I think if you look at our season, that's kind of the way it's gone. Defensively, we've got to figure out how we get them stopped, and I think a lot of that's going to come down to linebacker.
Well, at this time, we're going to turn it over to the public address announcer for the presentation of the colors and the national anthem. For Tim Malone, I'm Jay Baker. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Our national colors. The JROTC color guard is represented by Commander, Cadet Command Sergeant Major Aiden Mitchell. State flag, Cadet First Lieutenant Ian Hernandez. Army flag, Cadet Major June Katong. Battalion colors, Cadet Sergeant Nico Corona. Rifles, Cadet First Sergeant Kelsey Kimberling and Cadet Sergeant Ethan Kimsey. Please join me in the reciting of our Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, the Van Buren High School Chamber Choir students, led by Van Buren High School Choir Directors Tyler Morris and Angel Kiohaxa, will sing our national anthem. Please remain standing as the Van Buren High School Marching Band plays the Van Buren Alma Mater.
We're having some audio issues, so if you're listening to me right now, we're just trying to get them corrected before we get to the game. So if you'll just bear with us for a second, we're trying to get things, all of our technical issues, ready to go.
Well, that was the Alma Mater by the Van Buren Band. We'll still be working on the volume on Tim's microphone. Want to make sure you can hear him. Tim, speaking of Lake Hamilton, let's talk about some individual players on this team to be on the lookout for, starting on the offensive side.
Well, it all starts as typical with a team that's running an offense like they do, where they can run and pass it. You're looking at the quarterback, sophomore, number 5, Bohannon, Jace Bohannon. He is the guy that kind of makes it go. But then they have their connection, who is Carson. Excuse me, not Austin. That's our guy.
Yeah.
They have their guy, who number 14, Carson Jackson. And he is their, not only the number 1 pass catcher and receiver yardage-wise, but he's also the second leading rusher on the team. So they will set things up. Again, I'll go back and reference our 2, Austin Riggs and Hayden Williford. If you look at those 2, they will run the jet sweep. They'll get the ball in his hands. And he's also a good receiver down the football field.
Yeah, Jace Bohannon's responsible now for 14 touchdowns for this team. Clearly, he's going to be very important.
Yeah, and he can run the ball very effectively, but if he gets pinned in and he gets to throw it, he can also put it right where he needs to, and he's got a receiver that will go high point.
Defensively, they've got a couple big boys. I talked to the coach before the game down on the field, and one of the things he told me that he likes about his team is the front line on both sides of the ball. Said he's returning a lot of talent on there. And you watched some film this week, and 2 of those guys really stuck out for you on film.
Yeah, number 71 and number 74. They are big and they're agile. Number 71 is David Dalton. He's a senior. And number 74 is Eli Williams. He's also a senior. And those 2 can get the job done. They're big and they can move. They will both go on both sides of the football throughout the night. It's probably going to be, from everyone we've seen this year so far, probably be one of the most talented lines on both sides of the football. And to make another point on the defensive side, they work to move that line in and out. They will sub a lot to try to keep them as fresh as possible.
Yeah, and their coach comes in with 2 decades of experience. He won a state championship at Fountain Lake. He's well respected in the profession. Coach Henry told us that he's the chair of the 6A football conference, so well respected among his peers. Says a lot about him. He likes to run a wing tee, which, if you're not super familiar with football, will look somewhat like Springdale did. How do we expect it to be different than what Springdale did?
Well, Springdale showed us a lot of power. This you're going to see more finesse. And you had 2 backs. They will typically not want to go with the 2-back set. They'll go with a single set. And they will read. And they will read typically, instead of the defensive end, they're going to read the tackle. If the tackle plays in, sometimes they'll just let him go. and they'll be able to cut inside that. They'll be able to run outside of him. Sometimes they'll trap, and when I say trap, they'll pull the guard or the tackle from the left side and go in. They will trap to that other side. And so that's the key to that offense. But they are not married to that. Springdale was married to that. This team can run that, but they can also throw the football, and they're more finesse, I would say.
Yeah, and the other trick with these guys as opposed to Springdale is they can throw the ball significantly better than Springdale could. Jace Bohan is completing almost 68% of his passes this year, and he's thrown quite a few, not near as many as Van Buren, but they've thrown 103 passes this year, so the sample size is not small.
No, and if looking at the film that we looked at, looking at it against the South Side, they played South Side, also looking at them against Siloam Springs. I mean, they will move the ball down the field with the pass. They're not afraid to throw it, for sure.
Tonight, Van Buren comes in third in the conference in scoring at 40.4 points per game and seventh in the conference in defense at 34 points per game. Lake Hamilton is fifth in both categories. They're averaging just over 37, and they're averaging giving up just over 32. So, by all accounts, this game is expected to be a shootout.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's one-sided like last week, but hope in one hand and see what happens.
Sure. And like I said, there's some things to build on from last week. If you look at how the defense played, they are excited about their shutout, and they're going to try to build on the accomplishments from last week. And again, I'll go back. I mentioned a little bit earlier. If you look at it from our side, from the defensive side of the ball, Van Buren's defensive side of the ball, tonight the linebackers will need to really step up. We don't need to just have one linebacker. We need all three of them really coming in, filling, making sure those gaps are filled, making sure we get good integrity on the outside, keeping everybody to the inside, because they're going to be able to throw the ball down the field, and we need to put pressure on that quarterback and him in when he decides to run.
Yeah, you talked a lot about, as you and I were visiting before the game, you talked about the linebackers being so important tonight as we transition into talking about Van Buren, and we've seen that in the last couple of weeks. We've seen the first two linebackers of the year have a really good game, a really good start to the season, and then in the last 2 weeks, my goodness, forgive me.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at it from the standpoint of the linebackers, I mean, you've got Mays, Silvers, and Ponder, and they've each kind of stepped up one each week to really make a difference. And I think as a group, that needs to happen tonight to come in and fill. Our line is going to have their hands full because we are going into a very good offensive line on Lake Hamilton's side. So if they can help to neutralize that and then let those linebackers come in and do their job and work, I think it's a success story.
The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette last week posted their player of the week from Van Buren as Darren Mays because he had 10 tackles. He's got 35 on the year. So he had a huge game last week. He had a significant play in the week before that, that really important tackle against Russellville.
Yeah, and Jace Ponder had a really good game that week against Russellville. So he came up and stepped up. And then if you go back to week 1 against Alma, that's when Jackson Silvers made his mark.
Yep.
So let's just stir that pot and get them all involved tonight.
Yeah, Jackson Silvers has 43 tackles. 5 of them are for loss. Jace Ponder has 43 tackles as well. 4 of them for loss. Last week we saw a whole lot of Donovan Akins in the backfield giving problems, and that's going to be really important tonight. We talked about a big shakeup potentially in the defense. We might see a player featured on that side of the ball that we haven't seen.
And I'm excited about that. Tristan Ray, we were told, is going to be playing some cornerback tonight. And he is such a good athlete. We've seen him come in. We know he was part of the quarterback equation early. But he comes in, he's been coming in and doing a really good job in the red zone, scoring touchdowns, really using his strength and his power. But now, let's get him off that bench and get him out there for most of the game. And I think he can make a real impact because he's just got a really good football IQ, and he's got the ability to go out there physically to do the job as well, both supporting in the run and then also in coverage. And
if you remember Coach Henry, my favorite part about that conversation was he said, what he loved about Tristan in practice was that he came up from that cornerback spot and popped one of the runners in a way that he hasn't seen a cornerback for the Pointers do this year. So that would be huge, especially against a team like Lake Hamilton. It's going to be so physical.
Yeah, and I'm really, as far as any changes, I'm really excited to see what that brings for that defense.
We know what's going on an offense, but just in case you haven't tuned into a game this year and this is all new, let me give you some information. Austin Riggs is the number 1 wide receiver in the state of Arkansas by 130 yards. He's averaging 151 yards a game. Next closest is a guy from Rivercrest. Austin's having a huge year. He's got 8 touchdowns, 34 receptions. When he gets the ball in his hands, it's very exciting. When we talk about rushing the ball, the sophomore, Hayden Christenberry, is averaging 148 yards a game. That's good for 7th in the state, not the conference.
Jason Benson.
Got captains on the field. We'll get to that in just a second. And Hayden Williford, 6th in the state in passing yardage. Tim, the offense is just on fire, and it all starts with that offensive line.
It does, and they have played really well. Coach Henry is really excited about what that offensive line is able to do.
So Van Buren won the toss. They elected to defer, so they will give the ball to the Wolves to start this game. And we'll see what the defense can do right off the bat.
Right off the bat, we're going to find out. But I want to talk a little bit more about the offense before we actually get started here, because it is one of the best offenses in the state. You look at Hayden Williford, and he's completing 65% of his passes. He's got over 1,300 yards, and he's got 12 touchdowns versus 6 interceptions. 3 of those interceptions, though, were against one team, against Alma. So if you look at his percentages and what he's doing right now, he's playing some really good football at quarterback.
Absolutely. Last week in particular, you and I commented multiple times about the big-time decision-making skills he had in plays that should have been a loss. He turned into a 2 or 3 yard gain. Plays that were throwaways, just veteran quarterback plays with athleticism to get out of trouble.
Yeah, the thing that's great about and I think I've seen him grow. I think we've talked about his growth, even just from game 1 against Alma as we've moved through the season. He has really matured, I think, as a quarterback. He's throwing the ball away when he needs to. He gets down when he needs to. He's starting to learn that. And he is throwing the ball with accuracy, and he's getting it to the receivers. He's getting into their hands, and he's patient. And I know I've harped on that, but, man, you don't see a junior quarterback that's coming in that is as patient, and he looks and he checks receivers 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes through that progression.
Yeah.
So let's give him some good credit.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, along that offensive line, we can't brag on them enough. Jensen Hill wears number 60. He'll be at left tackle. Kyron Johnson's at left guard, number 65. And everybody from there over is a 3-year starter, including the center, Johnny Siaksampu, number 64, number 75, Jacob Omengabar, and number 69, A.J. Thompson. So Lake Hamilton is set to receive this kickoff. Both of their returners with their feet at the 5-yard line. That's J.J. Johnson, number 0. That's a name we expect to say a lot tonight. Derek Kelly, the kicker for the Pointers, and has been an absolute weapon. Touchbacks nearly every time he kicks the ball this year.
Well, that is a weapon, Jay. It really helped this offense.
And no, he almost got to field that one, but instead they'll start from the 20, and Lake Hamilton will touch the ball, 20-yard line, another touchback for Derek Kelly. Pointers looking to go to 3-0 in conference. We'll talk later about the importance of this portion of the conference schedule to get to some of the goals that this team has. But for now, let's just see what the Wolves bring.
Van Buren's out in their typical set.
Strong left for the Wolves. He's going to drop back, look to pass. He's got a man out in the left flank. That's number 14, Carson Jackson. Expect to hear his name a lot tonight.
Taylon Jones doing a good job over there. Hey, catches a pass, you get 2 yards on an out like that. Taylon Jones sure-handed. got him around the waist, and took him out of bounds.
2nd and 8 from the 22.
So they show power off the bat, and they throw out of it. All the people we've talked to that know Lake Hamilton football have commented that they are much more through the air this year than traditionally with this coach. Bad snap. This is trouble for the Wolves. He's going to fall on it at the 1-yard line, and a huge break for the Pointers.
You know, we were talking before the game, Jay. We said if we can get some breaks tonight, that can make a real difference in the way this whole ball game, especially if we can keep the ball under wraps on our side of the football. And that wasn't a bad snap. I think he just took his eye off of it because he was looking at the man in motion. It just went right through his hands.
They're not in an enviable position now. 3rd and 29 from the 1-yard line. Again, powered to the left. Bohannon with the tailback to his right. He's going to throw a quick little crosser out to number 4, DJ Wilson, and he's brought down at the 13, and the Pointers' first defensive possession's a 3-and-out.
Great hands, great going out there with it. I mean, make the tackle, Brady Perkins. Go out there and do your job. Hey, catch the pass, but if they don't get any yards after the catch, it's pretty positive defense.
Couldn't ask for a better beginning to this game for the Pointers. They will get very good field position, barring something odd on this punt. Good snap, and that's blocked. Oh, it wasn't blocked, but it was deflected, and there's a penalty. Doggone it, there's a penalty at the 4. This may end up being a Wolf first down.
Yep. Jace Ponder got in there. That's one of those situations. If you don't get the ball, it creates all kinds of problems, especially when he came straight in instead of from the side. So if you don't get the ball, you're going to get the punter. Yeah, that's frustrating. I mean, you can't argue with it because he got into him. He got into his plant leg, and it's just one of those situations. Jace made a good play, didn't get any of the ball. If you get a piece of the ball, it's okay. But in this situation, and that no matter how many yards you need, that's an automatic first down.
I didn't have that in mind when I said they're going to have good field position, barring something unusual, but here we are, and Lake Hamilton takes over at the 28-yard line. They're going to move it out to the right side with Carson Jackson. Again, we said you'll expect to see him get the ball in a number of ways. He's quite the weapon.
Yeah, he really is, and he's the guy they want to get the ball into his hands. Their other back, number 1, you'll see he's coming in now, Coy Austin. He is their number 1 rusher, so there's no let up coming from that backfield.
I believe that's Autry. Coy Autry, yeah.
Awesome.
And he's going to get it over to the left side. He's got a big hole, and he gets it out across the 40. That will be a Lake Hamilton first down at the 41-yard line.
A good hole. The offensive line is doing a good job opening that hole to that side. And Jackson Silvers got in there and made the tackle, albeit down the field a little bit.
So Lake Hamilton got the big break on the penalty on the punt block, and so far making the most of it, getting their first down of the game. They have a big offensive line. Handoff over the left side, and Darren Mays is in there to wrap him up for maybe a loss, at minimum no gain.
Darren Mays did a great job coming up, filling that hole. Nobody touched him. He just read the play. I think a lot of that has to do, and Darren's game has really gone up over the last 2 to 3 weeks. I think a lot of that is just watching film, understanding what those sets look like and where to be at the right time.
Second down and 10. Bohannon's got time. He throws to a man wide open over the middle, but he threw a little behind him. Incomplete pass. Pointer's got a break there.
Yeah, it was behind him. Didn't see a lot of that. Typically, he's a little bit more on target, but we'll take that. Threw it behind number 14, Carson Jackson, and he wasn't able to haul it in. So big third down now.
Second opportunity to get a stop on third down for this Pointer defense, hopefully coming in confident off the shutout last week. Bohannon with time. He's
Bringing
got a
pressure.
man out to the right, and he overthrows him, and it'll be 4th down. He had him, Tim. He just put too
did.
much air in that ball.
He sure did.
4th down.
He went back. He had plenty of time, and we brought a little bit of pressure, but he missed DJ Wilson, the junior wide receiver, coming out there, and he just put a little, like you said, a little too much air under it. Now, how about we see our offense on the field after this?
That'd be good. Blaine Pruitt back to receive the punt. He's at the 25. Low punt. He's going to fair catch at the 24-yard line, and that's where the Pointers will begin this drive.
Well, I think Coach Elliott took the punt block off that time because they all stayed right at the line of scrimmage, tried to set up the return, and no chance for a roughing the kicker on that one.
Trying to figure out, right? They marked the ball at the 24. So Hayden Williford comes out with Hayden Christenberry to his left. Tight end on the left side and 2 wideouts to the right. They're going to hand off to Christenberry right off the bat, and he's going to go up the middle like he has all year, and that's a 8 or 9 yard gain on 1st down.
You know, if that's the poison you want to live with and you're going to try to double those wide receivers, you know what, we'll take it.
And I don't know if we talked about that, but that was what the coach of Lake Hamilton said, 10-2. We got to stop 10-2, and if they're going to do that, then Hayden Christenberry should have some lanes. He drove the pack that time for maybe a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Very close. Nope.
No, they gave him the 1st down.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, that surge got him to the 1st down mark.
Christenberry 2 carries for 10 yards now. Williford gets a good snap, hands it off to Christenberry again over the right side. He made a couple guys. He broke the tackle, pushed that up across the 40. They'll mark him down at the 40-yard line. Great run for tough yardage.
You know, Jay, I'm looking at this play, and I've got my binoculars on it, and there wasn't a big hole there. He absolutely wedged himself through, and good blocking at the point of attack, but he made everything after that.
2nd and 4, Christenberry again to the left side, and this time the Wolves were ready. They stacked him up. There was a whole pile of Lake Hamilton players ready for that one. Loss of 1.
Our offense is adept at being able to go a little bit misdirection, and I think we might see that later. I think we might see a little more misdirection to kind of throw this line off because they're a good pursuit team. They're big, but I think being able to counter and do some things off to one side after you get the flow going one way, I think can work a lot, and I think you might see that a little bit later.
3 wide plus the tight end, Thomas Cole. Hayden Williford looks. He's got time. There's a flag down the field, and Williford's brought down at the 35-yard line. We'll wait for the call.
It came from the side. Came from the line judge.
We're hoping for a defensive holding out there, but we'll see.
Well, they're coming forward. It looks like they're going from the previous spot, not from where Hayden Williford went down. So this will be against Lake Hamilton.
Yep, it's a hold.
Yeah.
So that's a 1st down for the Pointers on the penalty.
I think Austin Riggs got held coming off the line of scrimmage. I think as he was trying to go by, I think that defender just grabbed him, reached out and grabbed him. It was right in front of the linesman, and he caught him.
So 1st down from the 49. Here comes Riggs with a quick shot. He's going to cut, make a man miss, make another man miss, and he's got his first down of the game all the way down to the 38-yard line from the 49. Way to go, Austin.
And that's a pass because he went in front of Hayden Williford. He pitched it, and that's considered a forward pass. If the ball hits the ground, it's supposed to be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, we'll keep our mouth closed about that. If you watched football in town last night, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Williford, Christenberry over the middle, kept his balance through the first pile, and then he's brought down at the 34-yard line.
I know I harp on this, and I know you might get tired of hearing me say it, but Hayden Christenberry, I don't know if you watched, but he paused. Oh, I don't like that at all.
He's hopping off, and Patrico Cottle comes in. Jordan goes to check out that left leg of Hayden Christenberry.
He just got knocked off of it, so hopefully it's just a small tweak.
Williford looks left, throws to Patrico Cottle. He comes in, he gets a catch right off the bat. Welcome to Friday Night Football, young man. He gets down to the 25, and that's the first down.
First catch. First down. You can't ask for much more coming into the football game, being able to do that. And coaches talked about Patrico Cottle, that he's got some real ability, and he's excited to be able to bring him in from time to time.
He's been the practice player of the week on multiple occasions. Williford's got time over the middle. What a pass all the way down to Carter Kelly, and he's got a touchdown for 25 yards.
You know what? Lake Hamilton, pick your poison. You want to try to shut Christenberry down? Try to shut him down. You want to double team Austin Riggs? You want to get on Teray Williford and put a couple of men on him? Well, you know what? We got some more poison. And I think that's just a great job. And what a great pass. Hayden Williford went in. He threaded the needle, put it right between two defenders, over one, and touchdown pointers.
Extra point attempt will be by Manning Dotson. It's up and it's good. So Van Buren gets first blood, takes a 7-0 lead with 5:33 to play in the first quarter, and a really good first drive.
9 plays, 76 yards, something we were looking for. And honestly, that's the MO for this offense, is these long, solid, sustained drives, and do that all night long. Let's let our defense try to keep them in check, keep enough pressure on Bohannon tonight so that he throws a few more passes that are errant.
Good start to the game on both sides of the ball. We'll be looking for Hayden Christenberry to see if he comes back, but Patrico Cottle certainly made a splash right off the bat.
Right off the bat. We'll see if he can keep that up. You know, you get some of these younger players in, they're excited to be able to come in and make their mark and put some plays together. And so it's exciting to see him come in and have some fun. But we got to get Christenberry well and back out on that football field. And I was mentioning earlier in that run before, talking about his patience, a sophomore running back. He waited for that hole. I mean, he took a split second on that play that he was hurt. So we need to get him back in the football game.
We're going to have a kick return from the 3. That's Carson Jackson. He's always dangerous. He got up to the 26-yard line. That's where Lake Hamilton will begin this possession. 5:26 to play in the first quarter. They've got a 7-0 deficit to overcome.
The defense played solid. Again, I think our defense, if you look at it, a bend, not break type defense. And I think they did that, especially on that first drive. Well, I guess it was the second drive after the roughing the kicker penalty.
Yeah. Same formation, handoff to the left side. That one's going to J.J. Johnson. He starts at safety, but he's such an athlete that they're going to feed him the ball, and he got all the way to the 35-yard line before he was brought down. That'll bring up 2nd and 1.
Jalen Brown was in on that tackle. A swarm of pointers got in there. It was a good gain, but it was a good gang tackle, and it looks like tonight Darren Mays is our middle linebacker.
Handoff over the right side. He's going to have a first down. That's Coy Autry.
Run by Coy Autry. Tackle made by Jalen Brown.
And again, Jalen Brown was in on it also. Blaine Pruitt was in on the tackle together. They brought him down, not till after a first down.
First down from the 42-yard line, 4:40 to play in the first quarter. He's going to drop, look to pass. He's rushed up the middle by Jackson Silvers, and he had to throw it away. Great pressure right up in his face.
That's what we were talking about before the game. If we're going to make a difference in this football game and our defense is going to be able to stand with them, they've got to get pressure on him. We blitzed him. He had to roll out, and he missed his receiver.
Having a big, nasty linebacker running right at your face has a tendency to cause that.
Van Buren's running with the 2-down lineman. We've really got a 4 front, almost 5 front.
Hand off to Johnson again over the left side, and he gets 4 or 5 yards up to the 47, 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down.
Good job on the outside, turning him back into where that pursuit was coming from. They pushed him inside, and we were able to make the tackle after about a 5-yard gain. Now on 3rd down. You're probably looking at a pass here. They're going to see this as a passing down. What you've got to watch for is something designed for Bohannon to run the ball.
Hand off to Johnson again, over the left side again. Darren Mays smoked him at the 50, and it'll bring up 4th down and 2.
You know, they're going to get 2 and 3 yards. You get any kind of push, they got 2 and 3 yards. But when you have a linebacker that comes up and makes a play like that, hey, all day long, they're looking at his 4-down territory.
4th down, they're going for it. Don't jump. Don't give it to them. That's job number 1. And there's a penalty marker. False start. So now we'll probably see a punt from 4th and 2 to 4th and 7.
Yeah. You know what? A football game is made up of a lot of different elements. As you go through, you're going to remember the ones at the end of the game. But these kinds of plays in the first quarter, these kinds of mistakes that you're able to take advantage of, they make a big impact on the game, even though you don't see it at the end.
Yeah, that was a costly false start right there. That's a tough punt. Hopefully it rolls into the end zone, and it does. Blaine Pruitt did a good job of putting on the brakes and not letting that ball hit him. And Van Buren will start from their own 20 with 3 minutes to play in this opening quarter.
Boy, it's a good thing that ball had a lot of overspin. That thing was tumbling. I was a little nervous they might down it inside the 5-yard line if it had kicked one way or the other, but it just went on all the way in through the end zone.
If it had had that spin that Derek Kelly put on that kickoff last week that nearly stuck at the 4, that would have been a bad deal. Who's at tailback? Is that Christenberry? It is. Christenberry's back in. He takes the first handoff. He'll get 2 yards up to the 22.
He was gang tackled by quite a few white jerseys right there. Before this next play, I want to say how impressed so far it feels like we've built on what happened last week on defense, being able to shut out Siloam Springs. They came in tonight. I think this defense is playing with a lot of confidence. Now let's get the offense down the field again.
Yeah, to have forced 2 punts already is huge, and now they've drawn them off sides, and so 2nd and 8 becomes 2nd and 3.
You know, if you're going to keep giving you gifts and if you're going to make that kind of difference in the football game, those kind of mistakes can make. Van Buren's going to take them.
2nd and 3, everything in the playbook's in play here. You take a shot if you got good coverage somewhere. Teray Wilford looks like he might be on an island.
Boy, they're giving Austin Riggs all kinds of room.
They give it to Christenberry instead on a quick out, and he gets up to the 35-yard line with his 2nd reception of the night.
I don't know if the coverage for them was maybe a mix-up or a mess-up, but if they were going to key on Austin Riggs, they sure weren't doing it there, Jay. They had him in the slot and no pressure up to the line of scrimmage. He would have been good for 5 yards to be able to catch the ball, and you'll take that all night long with Austin.
Yep. Wilford looks right, and that's a bad pass. He's lucky that one wasn't intercepted. He threw behind his target. That was Austin. No, wasn't Austin Riggs, but.
No, I'm not. he didn't see. I don't know if he was supposed to sit down between those two defenders, but the receiver kept running, and they obviously weren't on the same page because Hayden Williford hasn't thrown passes like that in the last couple games.
Yeah. Big break for the Pointers there. Got to have a few of those a game.
Riggs is in motion again.
Yep, Williford with all kinds of time.
He
baited him into thinking he was going to
job.
run. Gives it to Teray Wilford. He was one tackle away from breaking that one, but he still gets down to the 43-yard line. Teray Wilford is one of the two people that Lake Hamilton's coach said we have to know where he is.
I hope they know how fortunate they are, because if he gets out of that tackle, that little shoestring tackle, there's nobody who's going to catch him.
Williford throws the quick screen out left. You got to get on that. That may be live. No, they blew it dead, but
forward pass.
That was close enough that you'd like to see the rush to the ball. They must have heard the whistle.
Well, and that's just one of those situations where Christenberry is doing that little float out pattern right out to the left-hand side, and he was looking at the defenders trying to get everything set up and just took his eye off the ball.
1:49 to play in the opening quarter. Van Buren leads at 7-0, threatening to extend that lead with their second offensive possession. Williford looks right, throws right. That's Carter Kelly again down to the 39-yard line.
Good solid game. Third down. Now you've got a manageable third down after a 2nd and 10. Now we've got 3rd and 5.
He's got 2 catches for 29 yards.
Now you've got Lake Hamilton's number 1 receiver on our number 1 receiver.
Williford with all day. Oh, watch out. Yeah, that man came from behind him. He didn't see him coming, and that was enough to slow the play down. And the Pointers will have a decision here. 4th and 10 from their own 43.
No, they're going to punt it.
4th down.
You know, that's one of those situations where sometimes your biggest strength can also be a weakness. And then when Hayden Williford goes back to pass, he sees that guy go by, and he's just kind of got to have that clock in his head, knowing that he is more than likely coming back to meet him from the backside.
Good news is about that backside attack didn't turn into a strip sack, which it does a lot of times, especially at high school.
When you're not expecting it.
Manning Dodson with a low kick that's going to go into the end zone, and Lake Hamilton will begin this possession from their own 20 with 31 seconds to play in the first quarter.
You know, it was being able to get the field, get them back down the field. The 20-yard line's not a bad place to get this offense to start. Let your defense rest a little bit. The offense did a really solid job moving the ball down the field. We know what we can do. Now the defense, use some of that confidence and build on the momentum that you've already got.
Same formation we've seen all night. Bohannon gets the snap, hands this one off to Autry over the left side, and the Pointer defense was ready. No gain on that play.
Tell you what, this defensive line is really pushing in. They're not getting pushed around. We talked about how physical and how big the Lake Hamilton offensive line can be. Our guys are holding their own.
Yeah, they look like the more physical team through one quarter.
So far.
Lake Hamilton to get off their final snap of the first quarter, and you want again, once again, the Van Buren defense stuffs them for no gain.
Jackson Silvers was in there. Jace Ponder was in there.
And that's how the first quarter is going to wrap up with this Van Buren defense showing off. Wow, great start for the Pointers. This is Pointer Media with Tim Malone. I'm Jay Baker. We're going to send you to this message from the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, and we'll be right back. uafs.edu is the website. Thank you to the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions for providing the sponsorship for this year's broadcast in football, volleyball, basketball, baseball, and softball. Go Lions. So Lake Hamilton coming into the second quarter, going to face a 3rd and 10. 3 wideouts to the right. Bohannon looks that way, throws a great pass to his number 16, Hunter Edgman, his number 2 target, and that's a first down up to the 34-yard line.
Coverage wasn't bad there. You had several different pointers around him. It's a zone. They were playing a zone. He found the soft spot in the zone. Quarterback was able to find him, get the first down.
Good ball by Jace Bohannon. He's definitely a 6A quarterback. He fakes the handoff, looks right. He had a seam route and just slightly overthrew his target, and that would have been a big play if that ball was on the money.
Yeah, and that was his main man, Carson Palmer. He was looking for him. They were looking for that quick step, and he was able to get a little bit of cushion there, but thank goodness it wasn't on target, because that could have been a big play.
Yeah. Carson Jackson's been a huge target this year. He leads the team in receiving, second on the team in rushing. On second down, he's going to throw for the 3rd consecutive time, and this time he hits Carson Jackson, who gets all the way across the 50, and they'll finally mark him out at the 45-yard line.
Right now, Jay, it looks like that they're saying to themselves, the run's not working, and they've gone to the pass each time so far on this particular drive. I think you're going to see a little bit more airing it out on Lake Hamilton.
And that's the trouble. Bohannon has the arm and the accuracy to do that well. There's that handoff to Johnson. J.J. Johnson. He'll get up to the 43-yard line to lead to 2nd and 8.
Again, the defense steps up. Linebackers did a great job filling. I think what you're going to see now, again, they go to 2nd and 2. Now they're thinking to themselves, this really is a passing down for them, and that's really been their only strength tonight so far through a quarter and a couple minutes of football.
You can tell the defensive staff for the Pointers said, we're going to make you beat us through the air. Here's Bohannon. First time we're seeing him use his legs. We talked about what weapon they are, and right off the bat, he shows when he keeps, he's dangerous.
Yeah. And when you set that up as a quarterback draw, he goes back, acts like he's going to pass real quick, and then he takes off right up the middle. He is dangerous with the ball in his hands.
First down from the 33.
Bohannon sends a man's in motion, fakes the handoff to him, and he's going to throw the deep ball. Great coverage down the field. Was that intercepted or was it dropped? Either way, it was great coverage. He wasn't able to bring it down, but Tim, you couldn't have played better coverage if they were walking.
I talked about this in our meeting with Coach Henry this week. Talon Jones has really impressed me. Impressed me coming up. If you look at the way he's played the last 2 weeks, both against Russellville and against Siloam Springs, that young man comes up. He's not afraid to put his nose in there and hit somebody on the run, and then he's got the speed and the ability to cover man-to-man.
Chase Bohannon keeps, goes over the right side. He won't get the first down, but he'll make 3rd down much more manageable down to the 26-yard line.
I think you're looking at 4-down territory here for Lake Hamilton. If they don't get this first down, they're definitely going to go for it on 4th. They don't have a super strong kicking game.
3rd and 3. We'll see what the call is from the Wolves. He throws out right, and that's too easy. Carson Jackson somehow got wide open and gets just enough down to the 22-yard line.
Jay, they were playing him in the slot. There was nobody up pressuring him. He had plenty of room, especially on cutting underneath like that. I think the defensive coaches are going to see that. They're going to have to bring some pressure up, especially on the number 1 receiver on Lake Hamilton, Carson Palmer. They're going to have to bring somebody up, give him pressure right off the line of scrimmage. Carson Jackson.
So fresh set of downs for the Wolves. They're at the 22-yard line, trailing by 7 with 9:47 to play. Handoff to Johnson over the left side. He gets up to about the 16-yard line before a whole gang of Bird Dogs brings him down.
Stopped by Jalen Brown.
Tell you what, our defensive line and our linebackers are doing a great job of coming up and really helping each other on the run. They're coming in. They're coming into the gaps. The defensive line is not getting pushed off the football.
And, you know, we haven't seen Tim as a big play, and that was our Achilles tendon for several weeks.
Yeah.
Bohannon's going to roll to the left. He's in trouble. He's brought down in the backfield. We'll see who it was to get to him first, but he's back to the 20.
Great job. Looked like
Jackson Silvers.
Yep, Jackson Silvers was in there.
Jackson Silvers.
So big-time sack brings up a long third down.
Braden Dawes got in there too.
Can't get over the last 5+ quarters of defense by this Pointer team.
No scores.
Bohannon looks right out of the shotgun, and they're going to whistle it dead.
I don't see any yellow on the field, so we have a timeout. Dead ball.
False start, so 3rd and 8 just got 3rd and 13 even more difficult.
Good job by that line coming in. Again, putting pressure on the quarterback. We talked about that pregame, that you've really got to have the pressure on that quarterback. If we're going to be successful tonight, you cannot give him time.
Big play. You would think Lake Hamilton has 2 plays to get this first down, so you can't play safe on defense here.
No, not at all. And you've got number 14, their big-time receiver. And see, they brought that defender now. He's up a little bit tighter.
Bohannon has time. He's brought down in the backfield. That's another sack. Guess who? Chase Ponder with a huge play.
You know, you got to love it when a plan comes together. Coming in, bringing pressure. He was looking for 14, his go-to receiver, Carson Jackson. He was looking for Jackson again, and we had coverage out there.
One more time, Pointer fans, 4th down.
4th down. They're going to go for it at this part of the field. I don't blame them. It's 4th and a mile, but a punt is not very good from here. Oh, he is the punt. He's going to get a snap. He's going to get a punt down inside the 10. Just stay away from it. It spins back toward the 20. And so Van Buren has forced yet another punt and will start at the 19-yard line. Incredible defense.
Can't say enough about what this defense has done. Going 5 quarters with no scores. We're halfway through the 2nd quarter of this game and still nothing, holding this team, getting pressure on the quarterback, shutting the run down, and playing, honestly, defensive backs are playing really good football right now.
Encouraging for those young men. They were playing their hearts out. They were just not – it just wasn't going well, and to see it start to turn, it's encouraging for these players. Austin Riggs will catch one on the outside. He, of course, makes the first man miss and gets up across the 25 to the 26-yard line for a 7-yard gain.
Tackled by Mason Peters.
I'm going to steal something that you say a lot. You get 2nd and 3 or 4, brings the whole playbook in. You can use anything in the playbook. Sometimes you take a shot down the field, but the way this offense has been grinding, just another grinding drive, play after play.
They'll hand it to Christenberry over the left side. Huge hole across the 40, across the 50, and finally brought down at the 45-yard line.
Pick your poison, boys. Pick your poison.
First down.
Get the first down. You go on first down, you go to Austin Riggs, let him make a play, and then you take your big back, you run him right up the middle. One thing to make note of, Jay, as Christenberry was getting down the field and they were trying to tackle him, they were trying to strip the ball, it's all about ball security. He really covered it up.
Yeah, he's gotten much better since that first game. This time he is bottled up. Lake Hamilton won the battle at the line and then bottled him up for no gain or, loss of 2.
They just got a good push. Our offensive line has been doing a really great job tonight. At time, they brought a little bit more push and able to make a difference in that and give them a 2-yard loss.
Fourth play of the drive for the Pointers.
They just brought Carson Jackson, their big receiver, in to play defense now.
Bringing the blitz. Williford saw it, got it off to Phillip Steele, and just slightly overthrew him. Looks like Phillip's feet got tangled up a little in himself, or it might have been right on the money.
Lake Hamilton had good coverage, Jay, going down the field like that. They brought the blitz. They brought the edge blitz. They brought a blitz up the middle. Hayden Williford was in a lot of trouble. Again, we talked about it before. He had to pick his hot route. His hot route was Phillip Steele and got down the field. That was a close pass. He made a good pass. He just had good coverage.
So 3rd and long for the Pointers. Riggs goes in motion over to the left side. We've got a dead ball.
Flag down.
Dead ball.
False start, so 3rd down just got a little longer.
Well, we just handed them back a little more help. They've helped us a couple times. We kind of returned the favor, a favor we really don't want to return.
No, we'll be cordial, but preferably not with penalties.
No.
So 3rd and about 17. Williford gets the clean snap, looks right, then throws it to Riggs, who's coming across. Austin Riggs is going to be gone. That's a 52-yard touchdown to Austin Riggs.
That is the perfect call against a hard blitz. Lake Hamilton brought almost the kitchen, not the whole kitchen, but a lot of the kitchen. They had it set up to the outside. Austin made this little trail, took off up the middle. Williford hit him on the button. There was nobody there, and he just outran him. Beautiful play.
Great play design, great execution. And Van Buren's an extra point away from leading this one 14-0. Extra point is up. It's no good. 13-0, 5:31 to play in the first quarter. What a great start for these Pointers.
6 plays, 81 yards. Another really good drive, taking some time off the clock, giving your defense time to rest. And when the offense is playing like this and the defense has had success, the defense just eats this up too.
I know we've said it several times, but I'm so happy for everybody on the defensive side of the ball,
Jay.
from the coaches down to the players. They were just getting, they had to be getting so frustrated in those first several games, and to come back and respond and play so well in these last 5.5 quarters.
Yeah. I mean, they have gelled, and they're coming together. And the ability to come in here and pull off your game plan like you have so far is, and listen, there's a lot of football left to play. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But you know what? So far, so good.
So Derek Kelly with the kickoff. Once again, a little short. It'll be returned. It's number 11 on the return, gets across the 20, all the way across the 30 and up to the 33-yard line. That'll be pretty good starting field position for Lake Hamilton.
Yeah, some of their best starting field position yet.
That was Gabe Huggins, the sophomore, on the return.
Now the defense just has to keep doing what they've been doing, playing the kind of game they're playing. Linebackers keep the pressure on. The line holding the line. Get ready for some more pass. You're going to see a lot more pass starting now.
Handoff over the right side, and he is brought down. That Darren Mays again, and he got a hold of Carson Jackson, and he wasn't about to let him go.
I don't know. Was he in their huddle? Did he know that play? Because I'm telling you, where that was going, that's where Darren Mays was. And 14 is the guy they want to get the ball in his hands. Carson Jackson is their man with the football in his hands, and that is twice, maybe 3 times, Darren Mays has been able to come up and make a huge play.
2nd and 10. Lake Hamilton hands off over to the left side this time. Better luck that way. They get up across the 35 to the 38-yard line. It'll set up 3rd and 5.
Tackled by Donovan Akins.
3rd down. If we can keep them in 3rd down range like this, we're in good shape.
3rd down.
We're aware of the audio difficulties with Tim's mic. We want to make sure you can hear him. So temporarily, we're going to get his headset and do a little bit of work on it. So you're going to be without him for a moment. You're stuck with me. We'll get him back as quick as possible so you can get some real football insight. 3rd and 5 from the 38-yard line. Good keep by Jace Bohannon and over the left side and all the way up to the 48-yard line. He's been a serious weapon on the ground tonight.
Bohannon with the keeper. Tackled by
Gets another 1st down for Lake Hamilton. He won the quarterback battle in the offseason against a senior, so you know he's got some real skill. And he can throw the ball. This Lake Hamilton team would prefer to run, or his coaching staff would prefer to run with that wing tee, but when you've got a quarterback who can also throw it, the wing tee just gets that much better. Handoff to a fake handoff to Carson Jackson, and Jace Bohannon kept it going up the middle. He gained 4 yards before he was brought down by several pointers. It'd be 2nd and 6. Antoine Cooper in on that tackle. .301 to play in the first half. Lake Hamilton driving the ball, trying to cut into this Pointer lead. They get that same formation, power to the left side. Bohannon gets the snap, looks right. They went to the same quick out that Carson Jackson caught a while ago, and they're going to call this one, I can't tell if they called it incomplete or fumbled out of bounds, but either way, it didn't go for any yardage. Same play they got the 3rd down conversion on the previous possession. Carson Jackson's had a huge year. And anytime you can have a play where he doesn't get a big gain, that's a win. So 3rd down. The fans are into it, trying to help this team. Johnson gets the handoff, and he's met by a whole host of pointers, including Jackson Silvers. He'll be short. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th and 5 from the 47.
Okay, I'm back.
Excellent.
How's your voice? They docked my pay for a few minutes. I'm not going to make as much tonight.
Hopefully everybody can hear you better. If you still can't hear Tim, let us know. We want to make sure to get you the full broadcast. Van Buren wants a timeout, Tim. It's 4th and 5, and they want to talk about it. 2:17 to play. You deferred. If you can get this stop, possibly move the ball, you get one of those 2-for-1 situations where you could put a pretty good gap in this ball game if you can come up with 2 scores.
Yeah, this could be that where you put that point down in the sand and you say this was the point that made the difference in the football game. This 4th down could be that, Jay, especially if the Pointers can hold them with a 13-0 lead. They called the timeout because you got 2:17. They could have bled the clock down under 2 minutes. The Pointers are looking the way their defense is playing. They're saying, hey, get us the football back. We can put some points on the board.
Tim, we had a band night tonight. The marching band kicked off their season last Saturday at the Bixby Tournament of Bands. They marched away with literally every award possible, including the top honor, Grand Champion. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Branson, performing at 3 p.m. if you want to make the trip. So best of luck to our talented Pointer musicians.
Absolutely.
Big 4th down here. Huge opportunity for the Pointers. Bohannon's back. He's looking. He threw the wrong pass. He had a guy for a 1st down. He ended up throwing it into double coverage, and the Pointers will take over with 2:12 to play and all 3 timeouts.
Put the point in the sand. I'll tell you this right now, though. Antoine Cooper was being held. He absolutely looked like the guy was trying to save him from drowning by putting his arm around his neck and trying to keep him above water. I hated that wasn't called, but you know what? It worked out.
Works out. So Van Buren's in business, looking to get one of those 2-for-1s. Started with 2 in the backfield, motioned them to the left, and now Christenberry comes to the backfield. Hayden Williford will look. He has all kinds of time. My goodness, he's just parked. Now he's got to run. Good coverage by Lake Hamilton. Good ball by Hayden Williford to Austin Riggs, who's going to get his second 52-yard touchdown of the half. They scored too fast. They left too much time on the clock.
What a great job by quarterback and receiver. First of all, that offensive line did their job, held them out, couldn't find anybody. Coverage was good. He was able to scramble, and before he went over the line, he was able to find Austin Riggs. Great pass. And then, you know, have we said anything superlative before about Austin Riggs?
We're out of them.
I can't think of anything else to say.
That extra point is up, and it's good. 20-0. Van Buren leads with 1:55 to play. They have had an explosive first half on both sides of the ball, Tim.
This is so exciting to watch. And you know, the offense has been good all year. They really have. And in a lot of instances, the defenses that they've played against haven't been their worst enemy. They've been their own worst enemy. And when they're not, I have said it since the second game of the year, we can play with anybody in this state. I'm telling you, this offense can play with anybody in the state. And you put this defensive effort together like they are tonight and like they did last week, and you build on that, my goodness, this team could be serious.
Absolutely. You said earlier this game's not anywhere close to over, and so don't hear us leading you that way. But I'll tell you, with 1:55 to play in the first half, this is the most complete half of football we've seen, because Lake Hamilton is a significant step up in competition, and they're just dominant so far.
By far. And let's watch our defense work this last just under 2 minutes of the half.
That kick is going into the end zone, and so Kelly gets a touchback. 1:55 to play for Lake Hamilton. They do have all 3 timeouts, and you know they're going to sell out. They need a score on this possession because they know they got to give the ball back to Van Buren to start the second half.
Yeah, they know how important, from the Lake Hamilton side, they know how important this particular drive is. And I think you're going to see a lot of Bohannon using his legs and also his arm. 3
wideouts stacked out to the far right. Send a tight end out to the far left by himself. I'd look for a middle run here. We'll see. Yeah, there comes Jace Bohannon keeping that one. They tried to empty the middle of the field, and Van Buren was ready for it. Jace Ponder with the tackle.
Again, I think that's the thing you're going to see. He's going to try to get the ball down the field with his arm. Anything, if he sees any sort of opening, he is definitely going to use his legs. But I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of handing the ball off here.
No. And that was a design run all the way. That's the only reason they would run all those wideouts to the far marks. Just to hope that somebody goes out too far and gets out of position. Second down. Tight formation to the left. Handoff to the left to Johnson. Boy, he is quick, but Van Buren is ready. Darren Mays hit him. He made a couple guys miss, but not before he was brought down at the 27-yard line.
The impressive thing on this defense tonight, Jay, is if there's 1 pointer there, there are 5 pointers there. You look at that, he was able to get out of a mess. He could have been tackled much deeper back there. He got out of a tackle or two. He's a strong young man, but then the defense closed in and it was over.
Yeah, good pursuit by the defense, because he gave you a scare there for a moment. Bohannon looks, little quick shovel pass, and that's not going anywhere. Carson Jackson brought down at the 25-yard line, and the Pointers have forced another 4th down.
Jackson Silvers came in there. But what made that play, Jackson Silvers made a great tackle, but what made that play was the penetration by the defensive line. The defensive line, and I think it was Antoine Cooper who made the penetration. He didn't really make the tackle at that point, but the young man, 14, Carson Jackson, ran into the back of him, which knocked him backwards, and Jackson Silvers was there for the Christmas present, wrapped him up and took him down.
Such a great performance by this defense so far. This offense has a chance. We talked about going 2 for 1. They could kind of turn this into a 3 for 1 if they can find a way to score in 30 seconds. What a half of football.
And don't think that this offense can't do that. This offense can strike as quick as anybody.
Well, I mean, you've seen in the last 2 touchdowns, all you have to do is put the ball in the hands of number 10 with a little bit of room.
That's right.
And he's going to make them pay. 105, 116, 123 yards receiving in the first half and 2 touchdowns.
Well, and Teray Wilford almost broke one over there, and Hayden Christenberry's had a couple of long runs. So again, if Austin can't get it done, we've got a couple other guys that can do it as well.
Yeah. So 4th and 5, 31 seconds to play. The punt is low. Good, well handled by Blaine Pruitt. He's got some holes. He gets it down to the 42. Oh, he fumbled,
no,
doggone. Hopefully he was
no.
down. We'll
No,
get the
I don't
call.
think he was,
We'll let you know.
I think it's a fumble.
They did call it a fumble, so he got a gain of about 10 and then fumbled the punt return.
Fumble on the return. Wolves ball.
So 21 seconds to play.
Well, that's frustrating, and I know he hates that as much as anybody. But now the defense has got to come out and handle the adversity.
Yeah. So Lake Hamilton, 3 timeouts from their own 42. Chase Bohannon with time. Hits number 34, gets across the 50, down to the 44-yard line.
Pass complete to
Braden Goodell.
Goodale.
The good news about this is there's not much time left on the clock. And we just need to keep playing the defense that they've played so far and not let them get behind them. Keep everything in front of you. Don't let it get behind you, especially number 14, Carson Jackson. He's not the guy you want to get the ball in space because he can make some things happen. They do have, I believe they have 1 timeout. Is that correct? They have 1 timeout left?
Board says 2.
Okay. Well,
I think Van Buren's called 2 timeouts.
Okay. So I gave them credit for 1, so they've got 2 left. So conceivably, they're going to get at least 3 more plays with those timeouts if they get tackled in bounds.
Yep, 14 seconds to play. Plenty of time to do something with the explosive playmakers that Lake Hamilton has. The defense just needs to keep doing what they've been doing, staying disciplined, staying aggressive.
Yep. And they've got their big receiver.
Looks like he's in single coverage out there with Taylon Jones.
No, this is 14 in motion.
Oh, he's in
Carson
motion.
Jackson
Yeah, you're
is in
right.
motion. They're going to try to go underneath to him. That's who they're looking for.
Bohannon created time. He dropped a dime on that receiver all the way out to the 14. There is a penalty marker in the middle of the field.
Well, the good news is that took half of that 14 seconds. So we've only got 7 seconds left, regardless of they're not going to put any time back on for sure. And it looks
Tim,
like they're
that
all
may be
walking
an
backwards.
ineligible receiver. No, it's a hold. A hold on offense.
Yeah.
Huge call. Oh, my goodness, huge call.
And I think that was against Antoine Cooper. They have that offensive line has been having trouble all night with our defensive line, and they're having to get a little handsy to try to make a difference.
So now they're down to 7 seconds to play, and they're marking the ball. We'll see where they mark it. They're marking it at the Lake Hamilton 48. First and 14, not that that matters with 7 seconds to play. 48 yards is what matters right now.
That's exactly right. You've got Carson Jackson, their number 1 receiver. He's stacked out to the left. Now he's going to be in motion.
Bohannon gets the snap, looks Jackson's way, avoids the first runner. Jackson Silvers was coming at him, throws that one away, and that's going to run the clock out. And that'll bring probably the best half of football that we've seen to a close. Van Buren's going to take a 20-0 lead to the half. What a half of football. This is Pointer Media with Tim Malone. I'm Jay Baker. We're going to send you to this message from the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. We're going to get some information, and we'll be back to talk about the first half and the second half.
In Van Buren, camp isn't just a trip, it's a milestone. For our fifth graders, it's a chance to grow, connect, and create memories that last a lifetime. It's where lessons stretch beyond the classroom, where kids discover courage, teamwork, and the excitement of new challenges. For over 20 years, camp has been a cornerstone experience for our students, made possible by the pride and support of Van Buren. When you give, you're not just helping send a child to camp. You are investing in the heart of Van Buren. You are ensuring every student carries home memories, lessons, and friendships that last a lifetime. This is what makes Van Buren special. Let's continue the legacy together.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause for your Van Buren cheer team. And now, welcome to the field, your Pointer Prancer. How about those Pointer Prancers?
Urban. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome to the field the often imitated and never duplicated innovator in marching band excellence, the greatest show on turf, the pride of Western Arkansas, the Van Buren High School Quarter Pride Marching Band.
Today we're going to talk about the influence of jazz on street art. Now jazz has come a long way from beat bop to hip hop. Hip hop and jazz have always been intertwined. They've always been there. Graffiti has always had a relationship to the world of hip hop. It's always been a part of the culture. Jazz is the big brother of revolution, and hip hop is his voice. A revolution in rhyme and rhythm with the unheard finds their voice. Street art and hip hop speak the same language. For expression, resistance, and the pulse of the street. Art is how we decorate space. Music is how we decorate time. I never had much to say that wouldn't look better on the wall. It's all urban.
The coordinator music for the Van Buren School District is Ron Smith. The profession coordinator and arranger for the Van Buren High School Band is Dustin Chambers. The color guard coordinator for the Van Buren High School Band is Dr. Stephanie Smith. The directors of the Van Buren High School marching band are Chris Evans, Jacob Lehman, Piper Turner, Caleb Taylor, Garrett Atwell, and Allison Spears. The principal at Van Buren High School is Mr. Chris Bryant. The activities administrator for the Van Buren School District is Drew Cone. The superintendent of the Van Buren School District is Dr. Bill Jeffers. And the executive board directors of the Van Buren School District are Nicole Green, Lacey Westfall, Jennifer Baggins, and Christina Long. The directors of transportation logistics for the Van Buren marching band are Brian and Cindy Corbell. Measuring all the Van Buren High School marching band at the official site of the Van Buren High School marching band.
Well, that was another elite performance by the Van Buren High School Band, winner of many, many awards, trying to get back to that state championship level. Let's talk about things that happened in Pointer Nation this week before we get back to this game. In golf, Ryan Sampson finished 11th out of 72 golfers at the 5A state tournament on Wednesday. That was in Pine Bluff, so he's now qualified for all states. So congrats, Ryan, on a great season.
That's great.
That was one of your big games.
Yeah.
You still play golf?
You know, 2 knee replacements later and kind of a bum shoulder. I hate getting beat.
I played golf with Tim back in the day before he had those knee replacements, and I can assure you he was in no danger of getting beat back when we were playing. So the tennis team, the Lady Pointers, won their first conference title, get this, since 1989 earlier this week. The doubles team, Kendall Beese and junior Kenzie Gilliam, won back-to-back conference titles, defeating Greenwood in the final match. And sophomore Abby Lyle made it to the finals as well, but fell short to Shiloh Christian. So they'll compete in the 5A state matches in Searcy on Monday and Tuesday. They finished this season 12-0-2 in conference play. That is absolutely incredible. The choir also had a great day at All Region. 57 choir students made All Region, and that's a new Van Buren record.
That's awesome. 2
were first chair, including Fern Blakely and Peyton Baker. 25 are eligible to audition for all states. So the performing arts at Van Buren High School are setting the bar for sure. Volleyball had a mixed bag this week. The high school team got a huge win on Harrison in 3 straight sets to move to 13-6-1 on the conference, on the year, and 7-3 in conference. They'll be in action Monday night at Clara Bates Arena. Hopefully everybody will come support them. Northridge 7th and 8th grade Lady Pointers swept Farmington on Monday, and the freshman Lady Pointers won the silver division on Saturday at the Alma River Valley Invitational. And they also beat Harrison last night 2-0. There was a clean sweep in volleyball last night from freshman academy to junior varsity to varsity. Not a single set lost. And then in football, Tim, the freshman Pointers moved to 4-2 with a big road win at Alma last night, 32-8. And I'll just give this one to you. We were here last night. Northridge football didn't go exactly how we wanted it, but there was a scare in the middle of the game with one of the young men, and a lot of prayers were going up at that moment. And as I understand it, you've seen information from the family that we can share.
Yeah, his mom posted on Facebook. My grandson is also a teammate of his last night. It was definitely a scare. There's no doubt about it. When you have the ambulance pull on the field and they're working on him, they put him on a bodyboard and they work on him and they take him away. I think it was about a 45-minute delay, and everybody was just kind of sitting on pins and needles. But hearing today, no for Jamarcus Finster, he had no back or neck issues. I think it's a concussion, but it looks like he's going to be okay in the long run. Just going to be under concussion protocol right now, and so prayers answered, and just keep them in your thoughts as well.
Yeah, and I tell you, I had an opportunity to see the trainer Jordan before this game and bragged on her because the calm and the professionalism of the training staff and dealing with that serious injury and stabilizing him and make sure that if it was serious, nothing worse would happen. Fortunately, it wasn't a serious neck injury or spine injury, but had it been, Jordan and her staff did what they always do and took great care of the young man and his family, by the way.
Yeah, it was honestly, you don't want to see that happen. You hate it, but it was impressive to watch them work.
Yeah. Yeah. Last thing on tonight, we said it was band night here, and you had a king and queen. Manuel Matamoros and Melanie Mesquita were the king and queen of the band court. Big night for the band and their families. Tim, let's talk about that first half. I gave you two stats. One of them's pretty jaw-dropping. The defense for Lake Hamilton wanted to stop 10-2, and that just really didn't happen. Hayden Williford threw for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns. Austin Riggs has 123 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. What is making this offense tick right now?
Execution. I mean, execution and talent. Austin and Hayden have been doing this all year long. They've executing the plays that they're given, and then once the play breaks down, which is what we saw in the 1 touchdown play, the very last one, everything broke down because Hayden had to scramble. He found Austin, who found a way to get an opening, but that's all Austin needs is an opening, and once he got that, he was gone. It was off to the races.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine that colleges won't come knocking more and more the more he continues to do this against high-level competition like he has been.
Yeah.
Hayden Christenberry had 47 yards rushing, used really heavily in the first quarter, and then in the second quarter, a lot of big plays for the offense, so you didn't see a lot of him. You anticipate him to get a lot more carries in the second half. Let's look ahead a little bit here, Tim. This game's not on ice, so don't hear what we're not saying, okay? If the Pointers do continue to lead and pull away and win this game, they'll move to 3-0 in conference play. They'll be tied with Greenwood, who leads 21-0 in the second half at Siloam. And in the playoffs in 6A, 12 of the 16 teams make the playoffs, so it's very important to get one of those top 4 spots in each conference, so you don't have to make that trip across Arkansas to play the first round matchup.
Yeah, which is where we've been in a lot of cases. And, coming out on top a couple times, that's great. You want to get to that second round game. But if you don't have to travel like that, it can make all the difference as you start to move through those rounds. That travel, it takes a lot out of a football team, especially after a 10-game season.
Yeah, and a home playoff game. I wish we would have researched this beforehand. Now that I think about it, I don't know when the last home playoff game was in Van Buren. I know it's been a while.
Yeah.
And win tonight, find a way to beat Southside next week, and you've got a real shot at finishing up there and a chance to host a playoff game.
There's no doubt about it. And again, Jay, like you said, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get out there. That's something to look forward to. But with that said, if you can take care of business and continue on this trend that you've got going tonight and then build on that confidence and keep moving through the schedule that way, there's going to be teams that are going to look at their schedule and not necessarily say, this is probably a win. They're going to have to look at Van Buren and say, we got a football game.
Yes. Yeah, how about this? We did the math, and Lake Hamilton was able only to get 91 yards of offense in that first half. So this defense came in here, and people telling them, look, Lake Hamilton, including you and I before the game, Lake Hamilton's going to score some points on you, and these guys are just – they're recalcitrant, saying, no, don't tell me what they're going to do. We're going to hold them down.
Yeah, and the point there is we talked about the mental aspect of any game, and the mental aspect, I think, has been part of the issue on this defense. They were good enough. They just had to start to believe they were good enough, and I think that's where they're at right now.
So Lake Hamilton's going to have to kick the ball off to start the second half, and Van Buren will have a real opportunity to put a serious gap in this game. Marvin Garcia is the kicker for the Wolves. Comes up slowly, puts that one down into the 5, and Teray Wilford. No, that is Teray Wilford, and this is what everybody feared. Teray Wilford all the way across the 50. They'll finally mark him out at the 41-yard line.
We've been waiting 5 games for that young man to get a kickoff sent to him. And I'm telling you, that was a mistake because he gets the kickoff, and he did exactly what we hoped he would do, is panic everybody on standing in white right now.
He is electric when he gets his hands on the ball. Him and Austin Riggs both. Each time they touch it, you just kind of hold your breath. Reminds me of back when Joe Adams played for the Razorbacks in the 2010s,
yes.
And every time he touched it, you're like, oh, what's about to happen?
Right.
Hand off to Christenberry, who makes a great cut and gets down to the 35-yard line.
You know, that's one of those plays like you're driving down the road and you want to go to this restaurant and it's just too full. Well, he cut to the left. There was too full, and he cut back to the right. It's like, I'm going to go to a different restaurant, and he got served a lot quicker.
It's wild that he has 2 more years to develop, as skilled as he already is as a sophomore. Williford handled that low snap. He's going to throw a deep ball. He underthrew his target, but that's brought down by Philip Steele, who's wearing number 84 tonight. He's down at the 7-yard line.
You know, that's just one of those plays where the quarterback underthrows the ball, but really the receiver's got the advantage because the defender's running down the field. He's got to stop and try to adjust, and the wide receiver's like, I got this.
28-yard completion for Philip Steele. 1st and goal for the Pointers. Hand off to Christenberry, gets across the 5, and he'll walk in for a touchdown. 27-0 Van Buren.
A 1-minute, 2-second drive. What a play to finish that off. I don't think he got touched.
No. Great hole. I mean, the offensive line doing what they've been doing all year.
So impressive.
Extra point pending. Good hold. Extra point is up and good. 27-0 with 10:58 to play in the 3rd quarter. Van Buren did get that 2-for-1 that we talked about, and Lake Hamilton's in a bad way right now.
They sure are. You come out and you score with a minute and 2 seconds. A minute and 2 seconds off the clock after coming out at the half, getting the ball, and you know that Lake Hamilton said, there was a lot of talking going on in that locker room. We've got to make some adjustments. We've got to fix some things. And when Van Buren comes out there and they just punch you right in the nose, that's impressive.
3 plays, 59 yards, and if you include the really long kickoff that started, or the return that started at the 3 that got them all the way out to the 41, just a great opening possession.
You know, I'm one of those people that have always talked about when you start something, if you get some success builds on itself. And so we've had a good, successful first half, but then you come out in the second half and Teray Wilford comes down and you get a return like that. That's success, and then you just build on that. Now let's get the defense back and get them involved and keep them excited about their abilities and be able to shut Lake Hamilton down.
Derek Kelly with the kickoff. That one's going to be into the end zone. Another touchback for him. You know, and I wonder what plays into the defense's mind that they got to go on the field first. Did we win the toss and defer? Or
yes.
did
we won the toss and we deferred.
So I love that. So that means that Coach said if we win the toss, defer, I want my defense on the field.
Yeah.
And that's got to say something to those defensive players.
And, let's see what we've got. Let's put them on the field and let's make sure we can make a statement.
Chase Bohannon will carry, and he's not going to get more than a yard. He's met by the entire defensive line.
Chase Bohannon with the keeper.
You know what? Like I said, we don't have any superlatives left to talk about Austin Riggs when he gets the ball. Right now, the way this defense is playing tonight, just impressive. Absolutely impressive.
We don't get to celebrate them enough. So Charlie Vaughn, Antoine Cooper, Braden Dawes, all three of those big defensive linemen were in on that tackle. 2nd and 9. He looks left, fakes it, throws a deeper ball. We may get a flag. I hope not. Nope.
No.
Carson Jackson was very tightly defended on that one. He's looking for the penalty marker, and I bet some of the Lake Hamilton faithful were as well. 3rd down.
Well, honestly, it was a 50-50 ball. And I can see a point where you could say, okay, a flag could have come down, but they also chose not. Excuse me. They also chose not to throw the flag. He was fronted. There was somebody behind him. There was somebody in front of him. And the ball was up. 50-50 ball.
So 3rd and long again for Lake Hamilton. Chase Bohannon in the shotgun as he's been all night. He's going to throw another deep ball. He's got the man. Carson had a step. Carson Jackson had a step on Brady Perkins, but the ball was slightly overthrown, and that was a gift.
It was a gift. And in the film, the tape that I've watched this team over this last week, Bohannon is not nearly as accurate as he has been. So, but with that said, our defense has put a lot of pressure on him, and our guys have done a great job in covering the receivers.
Yeah, and they haven't been able to run the ball to be really balanced. Boy, they almost got to that one again. Fair catch at the 45. It's a different punt returner this time. Who was that? Was that Austin Riggs back fielding punts? Wow. Huh.
Well, if you need some sure-handedness, you're going to get it with that young man. You know, on that punt right there, Jay, the rush was on. I think the defenders, there was a real good chance they could have blocked that, but they were nervous. After that very first punt and the roughing the kicker call, I think they were awful nervous about getting in there. Coach Henry wouldn't have been too happy if it had 2 of those tonight.
Good pressure and good starting field position again for this offense. Teray Wilford gets the quick pitch forward, and he's going to do something with it. Gets across the 40 and all the way down to the 37-yard line for a Van Buren first down.
That's one of those plays we've seen them run with Austin Riggs, where Austin comes through in motion, and they pitch that ball forward. If the ball's dropped, it's not a fumble, it's an incomplete pass. They did that with Teray coming over to the right. He was able to slip through a really tiny hole, and huge gain.
17-yard gain on the first play. Hayden Christenberry will get this one down to the 37-yard line. Back to the line of scrimmage.
And now is the time in the game where you just saw what we call a jet sweep, where he comes around and they pitch that jet forward, and then you saw Christenberry with the run. Now the coaches are thinking, let's keep going to our strengths, but let's work the clock. We want the clock to roll.
They would sure like to get up to 35 and get that sportsmanship rule invoked for the 2nd consecutive week. Oh, my goodness. He had an opportunity. That's to Thomas Cole, the big tight end. He doesn't get too many targets. He'll want that one back. But,
no, that was the one they were trying to fool him with, because usually when he's in, Big 87, he's a blocker. He's a blocking tight end. And that's one situation where they set something up for him, and I feel bad for him, because there was a chance for him to really shine.
Yeah, he works hard. He's frustrated with himself. They'll give him another chance. Williford gets the snap. He's in trouble. He breaks away from the first guy.
Face mask.
Several penalty markers come in. You heard Tim call for the face mask. We'll see if that's what it was.
Actually, he got it grabbed twice. Once on that initial surge, and then the second time.
Yeah, face mask is the call. Huge penalty for the benefit of the Pointers. That's a first down too, right? Automatic.
No, it's not an automatic first down. Not in high school football.
Okay.
Any personal foul is not an automatic first down, but we got enough yards to give us the first down.
So that moves the ball all the way down to the 22-yard line. 8:58 to play in the third quarter. Christenberry over the left side. He gets a block on the outside by one of his wideouts and gets inside the 20 down to the 17.
That was Austin Riggs. That play was designed to go more inside, but he had to break it outside. The offensive line did a really pretty good job. They held their ground. They didn't get pushed through, which gave him the opportunity to kick it outside. And then when you have a receiver that says he's not a prima donna. He says, I'm the guy, I don't have to do this. He came in and made a block to bust that for about 4 more yards.
Yep. Here comes Riggs coming across. He gets that quick shovel forward, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage and gains 3 more yards on a tough play.
Again, the jet sweep. I think the defense has seen that enough where they were definitely ready for something like that as Austin's coming in motion and cutting across. He was able to cut it up. I think if he'd have kept going out, he might have got taken down for a loss, but he was able to turn it into a 3-yard gain.
3rd and 2 for the Pointers. Looking left, got a man over the middle. That's Austin Riggs. That should be enough for a first down. It is. They mark him down at the 11 and move the chains.
Good enough for a first down.
Had the blitz coming. Williford was able to pick up his hot receiver. Austin was coming right across the middle, and he was able to hit him on that quick route. Enough for the first down.
That's 6 catches for 129 yards for Austin Riggs tonight. Hayden Williford, now it's Tristan Ray. He's going to keep that, go over the right side, inside the 10 and down to the 9.
Our red zone specialist, Tristan Ray, coming in, using his power, getting a few yards. We can still get a first down without actually getting a touchdown.
7:13, the clock rolls. Van Buren leads this one 27-0. Lake Hamilton looks like they're bringing pressure, and they do from the left side. Yeah. Penalty marker.
Cole's offsides, 87 jumped a little soon.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, number 18.
So that'll put it back to the 14-yard line.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to get Thomas Cole in trouble by saying he left early. Maybe he jumped at the same time, but they said it was Carter Kelly that jumped.
2nd and 12 for the Pointers. Tristan Ray in the backfield. He takes the snap. He's going to throw the ball. He throws into coverage there, and that fortunately sailed on him a little bit. Be 3rd and long.
That went right through the hands of number 0, their sophomore. And if he would have caught that, I don't think anybody would have stopped him before he hit the end zone.
Yeah. Break for the Pointers there. Now Hayden Williford comes back in. Trying to get to the 1-yard line or the end zone. 6:47 to play in the third quarter. Once again, good protection. He throws that one over the middle to Philip Steele, who gets it inside the 10. So they won't get the first down, but that'll bring in the field goal unit.
4th down.
Good time off the clock, moving the ball down the field. I think a field goal isn't necessarily a bad thing here.
No, we'll take it.
Any points at where we are in this game, especially where the defense is playing.
Manning Dotson to kick. Cannon Russell to hold.
About a 28-yarder.
Pretty well dead center. High snap, but handled by Cannon Russell. Kick is up. Kick is good, and Van Buren leads this one 30-0 with 5:59 to play in the third quarter.
After the field goal, Lake Hamilton 0.
So we're over halfway.
Well, Pointers
1 second from halfway through this third quarter, and Lake Hamilton's had the ball for 3 plays. They went 3 and out.
Yeah. Up to 92 yards of offense now. If you would have told me that Lake Hamilton had 92 yards of offense halfway through the third quarter, I would have laughed you out of the building.
I would have too, Jay. And to tell you that their only effective play so far that's gained them substantial, well, not even substantial yardage, but Bohannon running the ball on design plays. Those have been their biggest plays. And if you look at their number 14, their big receiver, he's been neutralized for the most part.
Yep. Great performance on both sides of the ball tonight. So Derek Kelly to kick off from the 40, puts a good charge into that ball. It's another touchback, and Lake Hamilton will begin from their own 20, trailing this one by 30.
Now the defense has got to be challenged, and I'm sure the coaches have done this, but the defense has got to be challenged. Guys, no letdown. There's no letdown. It was fun against Siloam Springs. Nothing against Siloam Springs. Great atmosphere up there, but this is a different football team than Siloam Springs was. Yep. And so what you've got to do is, did you shut Siloam Springs out? Yeah. I challenge you to keep doing it and do it with this team, this Lake Hamilton team.
I have no doubt that Coach Haynes has another shutout in mind. Handoff to the left side. That's going to be good for about 6 yards. So a good first play for Lake Hamilton. That was Coy Autry on the carry.
Antoine Cooper brought him down on that play. Antoine's having a really good game tonight. That whole defensive line's having a good game, but Antoine has really, really stepped up and had a big ball game tonight.
2nd and 4, 5.5 to play in the third quarter. Snap is good, real old school option there, and he gets it out to number 1. That's Coy Autry. He's going to be just 1 yard short of the first down. So 3-yard gain on an old-fashioned option.
You know what? If we keep them in third down, I know it's third and makeable for sure, 3rd and 1, but we've had them in third down a lot tonight. And that tells me when you're in third down and the team you're playing against continues to have to battle on third down, that's disheartening for them.
Look here, Tim, a power eye, and that's going to be another false start. Boy, that's got to be frustrating for Lake Hamilton.
Man. Boy,
and it was the center on that one to make it worse, and that's got to be crushing.
That's one of those where he moves the football, and I don't know if it's one of those things where you're trying to manipulate an offsides by the defense, but he moves the football, and it's an illegal snap, and the refs caught it, and now they're in.
So you get them out of the power eye with 1 yard to go and push them back to 3rd and 6. That's huge.
It changes it.
Chase Bohannon's back in the shotgun, trips to his left to tie it into his right. He's looking left the whole way, and this is a completed pass for a first down. That's to DJ Wilson.
Catch by DJ Wilson.
Good pass. I mean, it was a good route. It was a good pass. That was probably the best pass Bohannon's thrown tonight, quite frankly.
Well, they get their first down of the second half.
First down from the 34.
No big plays given up by this defense tonight.
Not tonight.
Bohannon again with trips out to the left. He's going to hand this one off to Johnson over to the right side. He is so shifty, but Van Buren is there for the tackle after about a 9-yard gain.
This is by far the best.
Tackled by Antoine Cooper.
This is by far the best drive that Lake Hamilton's put together. But you know what?
From the 43-yard
it's taken a lot of time.
Yeah.
They're not I mean, there's no big strikes. If they're going to take 5 minutes off the clock driving and down so be it.
Yep. Lots of time for Bohannon. There was a little miscommunication. He had 2 targets in the same spot. Fortunate for him, Braden Goodell brought it down. That's a first down for Lake Hamilton.
Tackled by Darren Mays. First down.
They didn't need much for that first down. They've got it. But as soon as he caught it, he was taken down, and the clock's going to roll.
47.
It's never good when you see 2 receivers standing on the same spot. Somebody was in the wrong spot, but it worked out okay. First down, Wolves. He's looking left, he's looking deep. He's got a man. It's Carson Jackson, and this time he'll bring it in. He took a big hit.
Jackson, tackle made by Brady Perkins.
Brady Perkins made him pay for catching it. Good ball.
And Brady Perkins was trying to stay with him, but he's a shifty receiver. He gave him an out route and then cut it to the post, to the inside, and he was able to get free, and Bohannon threw a good pass and hit him right on the numbers.
So Carson Jackson gets his first big play of the night. He's going to step out. That one rattled him a little bit. That was a big hit. Lake Hamilton's threatening. They hand that ball off to Autry. He's met at the line. He pushed hard and ended up getting another yard down to the 19.
Jackson Silvers made the initial hit on that, and then they came in and cleaned it up. But Jackson made it good. And then Darren Mays and Jace Ponder came in to finish it off.
The defensive line just doing an incredible job of making the line ugly tonight.
Yeah.
There's nothing easy at the line for any of these backs.
And we've stopped so much pressure on the quarterback. The pressure on the quarterback's kind of easy. But here we come again.
Quick pass. That was Jackson was back
Good
in.
job, Taylon Jones. Look at him coming in,
Pass broken
making
up by Taylon Jones.
right with him on that. And that is a tough cover for the corner. For him to come in, for the receiver to do that slant,
It's third down.
and him to cover it like that and knock the ball away. Great job. Great job, Taylon.
So Carson Jackson actually checks out. Good to see him back on the field. I don't like when these young men get rattled. They bring in Hunter Edgman to replace him. It's 3rd and long again for Lake Hamilton. Low snap, Bohannon handles it, and he hits the quick one to Edgman, and he just can't hang on because he got lit up by Darren Mays.
Again, being where he was supposed to be,
Broken up by Darren
they
Mays.
were trying to work that play where he was cutting across the middle, that drag route, and you better know if that defender is standing there and he knows what's coming, you're definitely going to get punished.
Those are the kind of plays that linebackers and cornerbacks spend nights dreaming of right there when the wide receiver's just sitting in front of them awaiting a clean hit.
And that's the key, a clean hit, because back in the day, he could have hit him and done some damage.
Bohannon throws out. That's a good ball. That's number 4, DJ Wilson. He's having a good night. He gets it inside the 10 all the way down to the 8, and that's a first down.
Pass complete to DJ Wilson.
It was a good play. He found the spot in the zone. It was a soft spot. He found it. He was able to get it to him. Got the first down. Now they got 1st and goal. Again, the clock's running.
12th play of the drive for Lake Hamilton. Best we've seen them move it tonight. Handoff, right side, and that's going to be Lake Hamilton's first touchdown. That's Coy Autry in from 8 yards out.
Touchdown.
That was one of the easiest plays they've had all night long, especially running the football. There really wasn't much around him, and he was able to walk into the end zone.
So they cut into the lead 30-6, and they'll have the extra point pending. Minute 40 to play in the 3rd quarter. Hold is good, kick is good, and Lake Hamilton trails 30-7 with 1 minute, 40 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. We're going to send you to this quick message about 5th grade camp, and we'll be right back.
In Van Buren, camp isn't just a trip, it's a milestone. For our 5th graders, it's a chance to grow, connect, and create memories that last a lifetime. It's where lessons stretch beyond the classroom, where kids discover courage, teamwork, and the excitement of new challenges. For over 20 years, camp has been a cornerstone experience for our students, made possible by the pride and support of Van Buren. When you give, you're not just helping send a child to camp. You are investing in the heart of Van Buren. You are ensuring every student carries home memories, lessons, and friendships that last a lifetime. This is what makes Van Buren special. Let's continue the legacy together.
For the Pointers.
Lake Hamilton kicks off to Van Buren. Van Buren only has one guy deep this time. It's Blaine Pruitt. That's bizarre. He takes it at the 15, up across the 20, and smokes a dude at the 30. Woo! Sumner Young stepped up to tackle Blaine Pruitt, and Blaine Pruitt went Cam Scataboo on him and just tried to de-helmet him.
That's one of those where it's like you're going to remember that the runner says,
First down,
you're going to remember me. I want you to remember me when you try to tackle me.
There's a little identity crisis there. The offensive player forgot he's not on offense for a second. I like it.
All right. Don't need to get complacent. We don't need a 3-and-out here. We don't need to give them any momentum or give them any thoughts that they can even come close to pulling this game out.
Tailbacks to either side of Williford. He's going to hand it off to Christenberry, who gets a big hole and pushes that one up to the 39-yard line. Great first play.
Just what the doctor ordered. Come in there. The way they're setting this up with split backs, the coaches are saying, you're going to have to stop us if you want this football back because we're going to run time off this clock.
27 rushing yards in the second half for Christenberry so far. He'll get it again. A little more pressure this time. He only pushes it up to the 40.
I think he got
Run
the
by
first down.
Hayden Christenberry.
We'll see if they give it to him.
Looks like he might be calling third down. Yeah, they're saying he's,
Half a yard short.
if that.
So third and very short for the Pointers.
30 inches.
This is one you just get a push on. Make the first down. Keep the clock rolling. Keep the drive moving.
They will hand it off to Hayden. He'll go over to the left side. He was met. I tell you, this will come down to the spot. Good defense by the Wolves.
Run by Hayden Christenberry.
And they're going to mark him. They give him the first down.
That's a pointer.
Oh, that was close.
That was so close.
Yeah, he got met. That defensive line did a good job. But it was enough, and we got
First
enough.
and 10 from the 40.
That should be the last play of the third quarter as there's 20 seconds. And Van Buren's going to head to the fourth quarter with a 30-7 lead with the ball on the 40-yard line. And looking good to move to 3-0 in conference for the first time since the last century.
Just don't get complacent. We need to continue to move this ball. I think starting the fourth quarter, got the ball at the 40-yard line.
7.
Three fresh downs to start this fourth quarter, moving the ball down. If we could take 3 or 4 minutes off there and at the very least kick a field goal.
Fans, once again, thank you to Whataburger for being tonight's game sponsor.
Just across the bridge, Southside and Shiloh are tangled up tonight. Shiloh's beginning to pull away 29-10.
Just like you like it.
Greenwood and Mountain Home should be winning probably by a lot. Last time we heard the Greenwood score, it's 21-0. We were struggling to find the Mountain Home score, but they're very good and playing Russellville. Greenwood up 42-0 now at Siloam Springs. So it looks like Van Buren and Greenwood will remain hopefully tied at the top of the 6A West. We're still working on Tim's microphone. We apologize for his volume being low. He'll push that mic closer and see what we can do. Here comes Christenberry, who makes a great spin move to make a 2-yard gain, a 5-yard gain.
Tackled by Jordan
Great
Amos.
job by Hayden. Again, great. Actually, the great job started up front with the offensive line, and then Christenberry been able to use his power to go ahead and finish it off. And like you said, take a 2-yard gain and turn it into a 5-yard gain.
4 plays on this possession, all handoffs to number 28. Why not? Ride him all the way to victory tonight. Now, how about a fifth? No, Hayden Williford pulls it. He's brought down by big number 73, Connor Sears.
Now, I know a lot of people are going to look at that and say, that's a horse collar. The reason he did have him in the collar, the reason it was not a horse collar is because he went down forward. He has to come backwards or at least to the side somewhat, but definitely backwards if it's going to be considered a horse collar.
3rd and 6 for the Pointers. Try to draw them off sides, and now they'll get the play from the sideline. Gives Thomas Cole a little direction on the right side. Cole's going to go out on a route. Williford has room. He's looking. There's nobody. No, he does throw a great ball down the field to Philip Steele down to the 39-yard line.
You know, the impressive part of that is that it wasn't Teray Wilford, it wasn't Austin Riggs, but it's our third weapon in the receiver corps, which is Philip Steele. And he goes down, and he just made a great catch.
Yep, made himself a target while Williford was scrambling. Handoff back to Christenberry, and Lake Hamilton was ready for that. He probably lost a yard. He did. Back to the 40.
Well, and if we're up here talking about it, I promise you the coaches on the other side of the football field know that the run's coming, that the time pounding it, grinding it, wanting to run the clock, they know that as well. So they're going to bring those linemen know it. They're going to come in, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on that run.
Steele's got 3 catches for 49 yards now tonight. And they've all been very timely catches, Tim. Phillip has stepped in when he was really needed. Hand off to Christenberry over the right side. This time he got a little hole and got up to the 37-yard line, gain of 3.
And to go back to Philip Steele's catches, they've all been timely, but if you look at the one going down towards the south end zone that he made on that little comeback throw when Hayden Williford was scrambling, that was just a really good catch as well.
The 3rd and 8 for the Pointers. 9:24. Precious time is ticking away for Lake Hamilton. Trips left. He'll hand that one off to Hayden Christenberry, who gets up to the 35-yard line. It'll be 4th down for the Pointers, 4th and 6.
And this is one where, yeah, you want the first down, but really the clock running is really more important than the first down. You just come out, your defense is playing so well tonight. You come in and you just keep the clock running.
Pointers got into formation quick, like they might try to do a little trickery.
I think you might see a quick kick here, just kind of like you did from Lake Hamilton. Williford may kick it.
4th and 6. Williford fakes right, looks left to Riggs. This is probably going to end well. Riggs gets inside the 20, and they're going to mark him down to the 18-yard line, a 17-yard gain for Austin Riggs.
What a call. What a great call. What a gutsy call. What a confident call. You got 4th down. You got the lead. You want to keep the clock running, but that takes confidence in your football team. And you know what? That takes confidence in your defense, knowing that if they had to come out there, they could get it done.
That's right. Williford faked left, and I tell you, he looked like Baker Mayfield right there scrambling to the left. That was really an impressive athletic play by Hayden Williford.
Yeah, great comparison, Jay, because he did, the way he ducked underneath that, the guy had a hold of his jersey. He dunked underneath it and took off, got some yardage out of it, and then got smart and got down.
So 3-yard gain for Hayden Williford on that play. 2nd down, the clock continues to roll. Van Buren got this ball with 1:36 to play in the 3rd quarter.
This is exactly what the Pointers needed, was to just get a drive like this. And then not only that, if Lake Hamilton had any thought of winning this football game, that 4th down really put a pin in the balloon.
3rd and 3.
Christenberry got 4 more yards. Makes it 3rd and 3. Hayden Williford almost got him to jump, but looks back and gets the play call. Hayden Christenberry moves to the right side. Handoff to Christenberry from that right side, and he's got another 1st down inside the 10 and down to the 6-yard line. And you literally couldn't script a better drive when you get the ball in the 3rd quarter with a 23-point lead than what we've seen.
This offense has been able to do this. Well, I'm going to go back to the Russellville game. The 96-yard drive, when they had to have it, taking the ball. This defense, this offense, and Coach Van Hook is able to call the plays. They're able to execute the plays. And to watch them do this, that's a joy.
14th play of the drive, 7.5 minutes long so far. Handoff to Hayden Christenberry, and he was met by half of the Lake Hamilton defense for a loss back to the 8.
Tackled by
You've got
2nd down.
Tristan Ray in now. the red zone specialist at quarterback.
Second and goal from the
So we're halfway through the fourth quarter, and Lake Hamilton hasn't touched the ball this quarter.
Wow. Holy smokes. That is some impressive offense.
Kelly goes in motion. Ray rolls out to his right. He's going to throw. He's got Kelly inside the 5.
pass complete.
They'll mark him out at the 5. 3-yard completion.
Forced out by Blaine Sears.
You know, it's not a huge gain, but on third down and goal, this is doable either with the run or the pass.
Yep.
Especially with a quarterback as powerful as Tristan Ray. When you bring him in the red zone, give him the ability to do that.
Kelly's on the left side. There's going to be a penalty marker, false start. So 3rd and 5 is now 3rd and 10.
So that changes it back.
Yeah.
Dead ball, false start, 87.
That'll bring Hayden Williford back into the game. 5:44 to play in this game. Van Buren sitting pretty.
You know, you'll take a shot. He'll take a shot at the end zone. If he's going to throw it underneath, more than likely he's going to go to Austin Riggs, let him create something. Otherwise, he'll probably try to hit somebody in the end zone. If we come away with 3 points out of this drive, that's not the worst of situations.
Williford looks left, goes through his reads. He's going to make a
What a
man miss. What a spin move! Hayden Williford with the rushing touchdown on the 17th play of the drive.
Jay, that sheet you used to keep the plays on that, how many spaces does it have?
I have one left for
One
number
left.
18.
And I remember when you had that sheet, when we got started this year, you said, oh, well, I don't even know why there's 18 on here. We'll never get down there. Wow. Holy smokes.
What a move by Hayden Williford. Extra point is up and
Oh.
good. Oh, it doinked off the left side, so that's 2 missed extra points tonight. That's something you can work on leaving tonight.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what, this play by Hayden Williford coming in, as Austin Myers would say, our spotter tonight, he goes, that young man just got his ankles broke, because Hayden Williford went in, he put a spin move in, and he was tackling air. And Hayden Williford was walking into the end zone. That's not a tape that young man's going to want to see this week.
That's Hayden Williford's 4th touchdown of the night. 3 passing and 1 on the ground.
You know,
Man, what a progression to watch him develop, watch this team develop.
Jay, I know as a fan, as a coach, as a player, how fun these last 2 weeks have been to really be able to relax a little bit in the second half and watch your team really relish in both the offense and defense and what they've been able to accomplish. But I tell you, up here in the booth, those of us that are talking our ways through this game and trying to give you some insight, we really have a lot of fun on this side.
It is truly an honor to get to do what we get to do, and it's enjoyable. Even when it doesn't go the way we want, it's an honor to be a part of this.
Of course.
So, big thanks to Pointer Media and the whole team for making it happen, and of course the University of Arkansas Fort Smith for sponsoring it so that we can do this. Bobbled kick return starts at the 4, little explosion brought down at the 25, big time by TJ Woodruff.
Have you noticed from a defensive and special team standpoint, the tackling has been better? Like,
Yes.
they're not getting through. If they break that initial hit, there are about 4 other pointers there ready to take them down. They haven't done anything off of getting big penetration.
No. And you're not seeing a lot of missed tackles, and we absolutely were seeing that at the beginning of the year. Charlie Vaughn jumped off sides there. It'll make it 1st and 5.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
You know what? If Charlie jumped off because he was excited, because the way this defense is playing, you know what? Okay.
Yeah. That happens. You just got to minimize those.
Oh, yeah.
So 1st and 5 from the 30. Jace Bohannon back. He's got 3 wideouts to his left, or to his right, and a tailback to his right. Tight end out to the left. He'll hand off. That's Coy Autry. He gets a pretty good gain out of that. Pushes that ball up across to the 35-yard line.
Guess who? Darren Mays and Taylon Jones come in there. Again, I'm going to go back. Taylon just comes up there off of that DB spot and puts his head in there and knocks a bigger man to the ground.
Bohannon drops. He looks for number 16. He's got him, and he's got a big hole over the middle. Makes a few guys miss and gets across the 50 all the way down to the 47-yard line. That's Hunter Edgman, the number 2 target in this wide receiving core. He's had a good night.
You know, I'm not seeing out there is Jace Ponder, and I'm just assuming they're trying to work some new guys in, some of the guys that come in and get a chance to see the football field in situations like this. So just making sure Jace isn't hurt.
Coy Autry with a good carry over the left side down to the 43-yard line. 2nd and 6.
Second down from the 43-yard line.
Yeah, I see Jace down there on the sidelines. He's got his helmet popped up on top of his head, and he seems to be walking fine and just chit-chatting it up, so I think he's okay.
Good. Lots of time for Bohannon. He throws into trouble, and that was almost picked. Almost picked. Donovan Akins almost had his first high school interception.
Man, he read that so well and undercut that route. Bohannon thought he had himself a big gainer, and he undercut the route and just missed a big interception.
And he'll probably want that one back. It's really the first time Bohannon's had time to throw comfortably tonight. He had all day in the pocket. 3rd down. Handoff over the right side, left side to Autry, and nowhere to go. Darren Mays all in the middle of it again, down to the 42.
He got maybe a yard, maybe. Darren Mays, Charlie Vaughn, Antoine Cooper. Again, just a gang tackle.
4th and 5 with 4 minutes to play. Bohannon looks right. He's going to throw to his target, 0, and it's incomplete. It's a turnover on downs. What a performance by this defense.
Wow. Wow. What a way to build off of a shutout last week and to come in here and unless something crazy happens, 1 touchdown in 8 quarters.
Unreal.
I mean, they might score again. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. But what a turnaround for this defense.
I don't think anybody outside of the defensive coaching staff and the defensive players would have taken that bet.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But knowing there was improvement after the last couple of weeks, knowing the improvement was coming. But, man, this is good stuff.
Quick pitch pass to Austin Riggs, and I think he fumbled.
No, I don't think so. No, he's good. I think he's good, Jay.
Okay. He got 1 yard on that one. Austin showing he is, in fact, human. We can confirm.
Yeah. Instead of a 30-yard gain, it was a 1-yard gain. But you know what? The clock's running.
There were only 7 guys there to tackle him. I don't know why he couldn't break that. Christenberry gets that quick handoff. He gets across the 45 up to the 47. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Man, he needs to get up. Yeah, he took a pretty good pop right there. Kind of went down weird. But he's walking okay.
3rd down from the 47-yard line.
4 more yards for Hayden Christenberry. So he won't have a huge statistical game tonight, but they've really ridden him. We'll see how many carries it is. It's north of 20, and they've been important. He's getting 3 or 4 yards a carry, taking time off the clock. Williford looks left. He's going to throw deep. He almost had Austin Riggs, just a touch. Too much sauce on that pass.
Boy, everybody went to Austin Riggs. Teray Wilford was wide open in the middle of the field, and Philip Steele had a pretty good shot at catching something too because he was open down the field on the right-hand side.
So Van Buren will punt for only the second time in this entire game. 29-point lead with 2 minutes and 35 seconds to play.
You know, we've been talking great. We've been talking the defense up tonight, but that's not to take away, because we've talked great things and we know how good this offense is.
That's a very good punt. That's going to skip and just die at the 10, roll inside down to the 7. So great punt by Manning Dotson.
7-yard line.
Puts Lake Hamilton in a huge hole.
Punt by Manning Dotson.
You know, the only thing this offense has done is just added to their state statistics and continue to rank up in the top 1, 2, or 3 of the state, and especially in the conference.
Yep, Hayden Williford will be approaching 300 yards again.
And 4 touchdowns.
So Jace Bohannon's got his feet at the 2 as he takes this snap, and he hands that one off to Coy Autry. He pushes ahead to the 13-yard line.
Tackled by Aiden Laxton.
6-yard gain.
I'll tell you this.
Second down.
That coaching staff on the Lake Hamilton sides probably wondering what buzzsaw they ran into tonight, because I don't think they were expecting anything of what they got handed.
Great game. Bohannon drops. He's got time. He has a receiver. That's a great catch if he made it. They're going to say it hit the ground.
Yeah, it skipped into him.
Braden Goodell was the target, just slightly overthrew him. I tell you what, Tim, this guy's a sophomore, Bohannon. So is J.J. Johnson. These next 2 years with Lake Hamilton are going to get tricky.
No, they are. And Bohannon will improve. He's not like he's a bad quarterback.
No.
He's had a rough game, but he's been playing against a really good defense tonight.
He fakes the handoff and throws that one out to Johnson, who's immediately taken down.
And you know
That's
what?
Blaine Pruitt.
Yeah, and just, continue to finish it like we've talked about tonight. That initial contact, they've been taking them down. There's been no escape.
4th down and 1 for Lake Hamilton with 1:20 and the clock ticking. What a great way to end the game if the Pointers could get this stop. They're going to just go ride the quarterback for that one. That was pretty easy. Kind of tush-push without all the push.
You know, I had several people talk to me in the community when, I'm at Starbucks or, at Harps or Walmart or moving through the community. People ask me, so what do you think about the game Friday night? What do you think about the game? And I said, this is a winnable football game. This team is playing well enough. This is a winnable football game. Yeah, but Lake Hamilton, man, they come in and they've just, they've done this to us and they've done that to us and we just never really competed. I'm like, that's not the case this year. No. We've got an offense that can run with these guys. So I hope everybody takes the point.
Yeah, and the defense has been unbelievable. Chase Bohannon keeps that one, and he gets it all the way up to the 24-yard line. That'll be 2nd down.
You know, Jay, they talk about signature wins, wins that are signature wins, wins that make a difference in your football team, that they can come in and they can put that point on the map and say, we did this. We did this, and it was us, and it was big. I think this is a statement win tonight for the Van Buren Pointers.
I agree. Lake Hamilton is a solid program and a solid football team, and to beat them in this manner, just going to keep building that confidence. Good pass, good catch, across the 40.
But Jay,
go ahead. Hunter Edgman's had a big game tonight.
He has. But if you look at it, we have had trouble with Lake Hamilton over the years. They have kind of had our number. But here's the thing. If you don't beat the Lake Hamiltons, you're not going to beat the Greenwoods. You're not going to beat the Shiloh Christians. So this is a step on a ladder that really is taking you to a higher level.
15 seconds to play in this game. Barring a dead ball, this should be the last play of the game. And that's a good carry over the left side by Coy Autry, where he's tackled at the 47. And that brings the clock to zeros, and the Van Buren Pointers have done it. They're now 3-0 in conference, tied with Greenwood for first place. 36-7 over the Lake Hamilton Wolves tonight.
This was not a nail-biter. It wasn't one that really, after the first quarter, we were sweating much. We were telling ourselves, and we were telling everybody out there, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. But the Pointers came through, and they put a statement down tonight, and I'm excited for them, and I'm excited to see and talk to Coach Henry this week and see his excitement about where the season's headed.
Van Buren led this one 20-0 at the half, put up 10 more points in the third quarter, and then added another touchdown in the fourth quarter, and that got us to our final margin, 36-7. Next week, again, we talk about the long-term goals of this team to get in the playoffs, number one. Number two, to host a playoff game.
Yeah.
The game against Southside next week is absolutely vital in the process.
The goal is not to make the playoffs. The Van Buren Pointers are making the playoffs. Our defensive coordinator said to us at one of our first meetings that we had at the beginning of the year, he said, the key is I want to play on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yep.
And you know what? Your goal can't be to make the playoffs. Your goal has to be, let's play football into November. And then this is a huge step getting there.
This team has all the tools they need to do so, and it's been fun to watch. So for those of you who have tuned in, on behalf of Josh Smith and Lindsey Cottrell and Stephen Copeland and Austin Myers and my broadcast partner Tim Malone, I'm Jay Baker. This has been Pointer Media. To all the Lake Hamilton fans, travel safe, and we hope you have a great trip home and that Van Buren was kind to you. Folks, we'll see you next Friday night as Van Buren's back here at Citizens Bank Stadium hosting Southside as they attempt to move to 4-0 in conference. Have a great night, and congratulations to the Pointers on a great win.